A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Hey, Abbott, what time is it?
It's time for the Abbott and Costello Show. We're on the air for ABC here in Hollywood.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go with the Abbott and Costello Show.
Yes, it's the Abbott and Costello Show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood for your listening and laughing pleasure. Chuckles with a carload and music by Matty Malnick. So hold on to your chairs, folks, for here they are, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
All right, Costello, here I am. What are you so excited about?
Oh, I just finished playing my first game of football with the California girls team.
You play football with girls?
Yeah.
On a girls' team?
Mm.
I'll bet that's exciting.
Oh, well, the playing ain't so exciting, but oh, those huddles.
I never heard of girls playing football. Where do they get their players?
Oh, they pick the girls according to the shape. You know, quarterbacks, halfbacks. You ought to see those fullbacks. I'm going steady with the center.
Is she pretty?
Well, she's the next thing to Lauren Bacall.
She is?
Yeah, she looks like Humphrey Bogart. But she loves to play games. Last night we played Parcheesi.
Parcheesi?
Yes, first I would kiss her, and she would kiss me, and then I would kiss her.
Wait a minute. Who told her that was Parcheesi?
I did.
Oh.
Ain't I a stinker? Ay.
Well, instead of sitting home and playing silly games, why don't you take her to the movies?
Oh, I tried to.
You did?
I bought 14 tickets, but we couldn't get in.
Why not?
Every time I bought a ticket from the cashier, some guy in a uniform at the door would tear him up.
Well, I don't know why a girl would bother you with you in the first place. You're ugly, fat, dumpy, ignorant.
Before you go any further, I want to say one thing.
What's that?
Don't go any further.
When it comes to idiots, Costello, you can go to the head of the class.
Thank you, Mr. Rabbit, and I sure worked hard enough to get there.
That's what I thought. Where have you been all week? Lou.
I don't know what I'm doing tonight.
I know. But where have you been all week?
Monday, my girlfriend gave me a fancy pink silk union suit, all trimmed with lace. I wore it Tuesday and got hit by a car. They took me to the hospital. I'll never wear that union suit again.
Why not?
It took me 3 days to took myself out of the maternity ward.
They treat you nice in the hospital?
Nice. They sure did. Every day for dessert, I had a California sundae. It's 2 scoops of tutti frutti ice cream with pineapple, strawberry, apricots, prunes, pecans, Shoeshine nuts, whipped cream, and 6 maraschino cherries. And they serve it all in the hospitals now.
Well, wait a minute. Why would any hospital want to serve concoctions like that?
Can you think of a better place to get sick?
Well, anyway, you had a good rest, Lou.
Oh, no, I didn't. I didn't sleep a wink in that hospital.
Well, how did you sleep? On your right side or your left side?
I sleep flat on my back.
There you are. That's your trouble. People who sleep on their back all the time get their back out of shape and all crooked.
You must sleep on your face.
While you're in the hospital, you should have consulted a psychiatrist, Lou.
A psychiatrist?
Yes.
Any guy who would go to a psychiatrist ought to have his head examined.
Costello, how did you ever become such a complete idiot?
I got friends in Washington.
You
know, Abbott, they loved me in that hospital. One of the doctors introduced me to a beautiful nurse, and she invited me to a party.
Well, now, that's very nice of her.
I thought so.
And now that you're out of the hospital, you should reciprocate.
Definitely, because
Sorry.
after all... Huh? Could I have that again?
Sure. I said reciprocate. Don't you always reciprocate after you've been invited to a party?
That all depends on what they serve.
No, Costello. Reciprocate means to return a favor. For instance, if a friend of mine got me a date with a beautiful blonde, I reciprocate. If he gets me a date with a gorgeous redhead, I reciprocate. Now, when somebody gets you a date with a beautiful girl, what do?
I do the same thing you do, only I don't lie about it.
Never mind that. What was in that big package that arrived for you this afternoon?
It's a new television set I bought for Uncle Mike.
Oh.
I got to go right back home and hook it up.
Oh, what does your Uncle Mike want with a television set?
He wants to see what Dr. IQ does with that woman in the balcony.
Your Uncle Mike. All he does is listen to the radio. And now with a television set, he'll never get out of the house.
Oh, Uncle Mike does all right. He enters all the radio contests. Last week he was in a contest for a beer company. He had to send in 25 beer bottle caps and a slogan.
Well, did he write a good slogan?
After 25 bottles of beer, he couldn't even see the paper.
Well, anyway, radio is a wonderful thing, Costello. Just think, it fills the air with voices and personalities of all the gorgeous Hollywood stars. What are you doing?
Filling my lungs with Rita Hayworth.
Rita Hayworth is all right, but she's just like any other girl.
What do you mean?
Well, take away her beautiful hair and her lovely complexion. What have you got?
I don't know, but you can send it over to my house in the morning.
You certainly love the California girls, don't you?
Yeah. When I was back home in Patterson, New Jersey, I said to my mother, I said, Mom, take me out west where men are men and the women are...
Women are what?
That's all. Take me out west where women are.
What makes you think the women in Hollywood go for you?
Well, I'm a pretty regular guy and a pretty popular guy, Abbott. The day we moved to Los Angeles, I won a citywide contest.
A citywide contest? What for?
For being the whitest guy in the city. And they gave me a beautiful chicken as a prize, a Rhode Island purple. She lays 30 eggs a day.
Now, wait a minute. Now, let's straighten this out. You mean a Rhode Island red?
Abbott, when a chicken lays 30 eggs a day, she's purple.
Costello, I've come to the conclusion that you're the most stupid man in the world. Even as a child, you were stupid.
Oh, no, I wasn't. Back in Patterson, when I was only 1 year old, I proved that I was the smartest baby in town.
How'd you do it?
One day I was playing around the stove. I picked up a red-hot coal. Nobody had to tell me to put it down.
Hey, Uncle Louie, pitch a couple to me, will you?
That's Abbott's nephew, folks. Norman, what are you doing dressed up in a baseball uniform? The baseball season is over.
Oh, let him alone, Costello. Norman likes baseball.
Yeah, I'm nuts about baseball. I play baseball all the time. I live baseball. I eat baseball. And when I go to sleep at night, I even dream of baseball.
Don't you ever dream about girls?
What, and this might turn it back?
Get out of here.
Okay, but before I go, I'd like to tell you I sure like that moron tie you're wearing.
You mean maroon tie. A moron is an idiot.
Yeah, and only an idiot would wear that tie.
Get out! I don't like that guy, Abbott.
Why?
All day long dreams about baseball. He ain't got no romance in his soul.
Oh, so what? You don't know anything about romance either.
You should have been with me last night in a cozy living room, sitting on a love seat, all the lights out, and it was pitch dark.
Wait a minute. Did you have a girl with you?
What for? I'm not afraid of the dark.
Well, hello, boy.
Hey, look, Costello. It's our lovely new secretary, Viola Vaughn.
Gee, Viola, you look lovely tonight. That's a gorgeous dress you're wearing.
Oh, well, thank you. Do you think it brings out my curves?
Does it? Yes. It curves here and it curves there, and some of it don't even stay on the road.
Now, talk sense, Costello. Viola, how do you like California compared to New York?
Well, it's wonderful, but the time confuses me. You know, California is the only state that still has daylight saving time.
You know, that daylight saving time is kind of silly to me, too. You really don't save anything with daylight saving time.
You don't?
No. It's just like sitting down. What you lose in the front, you gain in the back.
Nah, never mind him, Viola. What do you hear from that uncle of yours in London?
Oh, I received a postcard from my uncle this morning. He's having a fine time. He spent the weekend boating on the English Channel.
Boating? My cousin Vincent swam across the English Channel underwater.
Oh,
underwater.
Why, that's preposterous. Any man who did that would drown.
The funeral is Wednesday. Gee, Viola, I'm glad you came to work for us. How about giving a little kiss?
Oh, you Hollywood men are so impetuous. The first night you meet a girl, you want to kiss.
Well, I mean, a guy like me has to. They don't show up the second night.
Oh, Viola, I've noticed you've been rather cool towards Costello. You never put your arms around him or nothing.
Well, I was sort of waiting until...
Till you know me a little longer?
No, till my arms get a little longer.
By the way, isn't today your birthday, Viola?
Yes, it is. I'm 18.
Think of it. You're a sweet 18, and I'm sweet 24.
Well, what about me?
Yeah, but you're a sour 65.
Never mind that. You're a cheapskate, Costello. It's Viola's birthday, and you didn't get her a present.
Oh, that's all right, Costello. Even if you don't express your felicitations on my natal day with a tangible token of remembrance, I want you to know that I understand.
Good. Now that you understand it, explain it to me.
Viola, Costello's very forgetful about birthdays. Last week was my wife's birthday, and he didn't send her a present either.
No, I didn't get your wife a present, but don't forget I wrote her a poem.
You wrote Abbott's wife a poem?
Yes.
How does it go?
To Miss Betty Abbott. Your clothes are really awfully cheap. And speaking of your sweater, give back the wool to those poor sheep. On them it looks much better.
That's a terrible poem, Costello.
Abbott's got a terrible wife.
Now, you'll have to forgive Costello, Viola. He is ignorant and he's uneducated.
Now, just a minute, Abbott. That's
what do you
not
mean,
true
just
now,
a
because
minute?
I went to school and I studied science. For instance, I know that the sun is 5 billion miles from the Earth, and the light from the sun comes down to the Earth in exactly 30 seconds.
Isn't that wonderful, Costello?
What's wonderful about it? It's downhill all the way. Before we go back to work tonight, let's hear from our blonde cutie pie, little bitsy Virginia Maxie.
Quanta le gusta, le gusta, le gusta, le gusta, le gusta, le gusta, le gusta. Quanta le gusta, le gusta, le gusta, le gusta, le gusta, le gusta. Gotta get going, where we going, what are we gonna do? We're on our way to
somewhere, the three of us and you. What'll we see there? Who will be there? What'll be the big surprise? There may be caballeros with dark and flashing eyes. We're on our way.
We're on our way.
Pack up your pack.
Pack up your pack.
And if we stay,
we
won't come back.
We won't come
How
back.
can we go? We haven't got a dime, but we're going, and we're going to have a happy time. Now, someone said they just came back from somewhere. A friend of mine that I don't even know. He said there's lots of fun if we can get there. If that's the case, that's the place we want to go. We gotta get going. Where we going? What are we gonna do? We're on our way to somewhere, the three of us and you. What'll we see there? Who will be there? What'll be the big surprise? There may be caballeros with dark and flashing eyes. I'll take a train.
You'll take the train.
You take a boat.
We'll take the boat.
I'll ride a plane.
You'll take the plane.
You take the gun.
We'll ride the
Oh, we don't care. We'll either walk or climb, but we're going and we're gonna have a happy time. Quanta la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta. Quanta la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta. We're going, we're gonna have a happy time.
All right, Costello, come out here. What's that you have in your hand?
It's a picture of my grandfather, General Stonewall Costello. What a hero, Abbott. He fought in the Spanish-American War. Every time he went off to battle, all the girls in Patterson would line up to kiss him goodbye.
Wait a minute. Every time he went to battle, all the girls in Patterson kissed him goodbye?
Yes, the war ended in 1898. But they couldn't get Grandpa to stop fighting till 1935.
He must have been some fighter.
Yes, he taught me to fight. I became quite a boxer. I remember my first fight. In the third round, my manager threw the towel in, and I won.
Well, wait a minute. How could you win if your manager threw in the towel?
He threw it over my opponent's eyes.
You dummy, you're no fighter. You're not an athlete. There's not an athlete in your whole family.
Oh, yes, there is. My brother Pat is a famous athlete. Just last week, he pitched a no-hit game.
Oh, lots of guys that pitch no-hit games.
In football?
Costello, you and your brother Pat are the dopiest guys in the world.
Yes, there ain't nobody a dopier than him and me.
Well, no, that's incorrect. You should say there's nobody dopier than he and I.
Okay, there's nobody a dopier than him and you.
Well, never mind that. How's Pat getting along with his new girl?
Oh, well, for a while he had it pretty tough. Every time Pat went over to see her brother would throw him out of the house. Last week, her brother went away to college and things are different.
What do you mean?
Now her father throws him out of the house.
Is Pat working?
Oh, yeah, she's got a job with a milk company, and he works like a horse.
What does he do?
He pulls one of the wagons.
Hello.
What do you want, Norman?
Are you going to do another one of them Sam Shovel misery programs tonight?
Look, Norman, look at the script. That's mystery.
I listen to the show, brother. It's misery.
Abbott, if you don't keep that nephew out of here, I'm going to flatten him. I'll hit him in the head so hard that his shoes will have 3 tongues.
I'll lay off here. Leave him alone. Maybe he doesn't like your Sam Shovel program.
Well, everyone else does. Now, here's a letter I got from one of my fans this morning. Listen to this. Dear Lou Costello, I listened to your Sam Shovel detective program last week. You were so funny I laughed my head off. I'm coming to the studio to see you tonight.
Miss Costello, there's a man out here to see you.
What does he look like?
How can I tell? His head is off.
Well, enough of this nonsense, Costello. What is your Sam Shovel detective story about tonight?
It's one of my greatest cases, Abbott. I call it the case of the Russian diplomat who took the 6 p.m. boat back to Russia, or Red Sails in the Sunset.
Well, it sounds interesting. Let's get on with the case.
Fair enough.
And now, the makers of Swanee River Cold Cream bring you the adventures of Sam Shovel, private detective. But first, a word about our product. Swanee River Cold Cream is the only cold cream that contains peanut butter. Ah, what a time-saving device this is. Ladies, now you can cream your face and have your lunch at the same time. And friends, remember, we can sell Swanee River Cold Cream cheaper than any other brand because we've done away with costly containers. We use no tubes, no boxes, no jars. just walk into your drugstore, ask for Swanee River Cold Cream, and hold out your hand. And now for the further adventures of Sam Shovel, Private Detective.
Yeah, I'm Sam Shovel. Sam Shovel, Private Detective. The detective business has been lousy lately. I ain't got a nickel to my name. I guess it's just as well. How would it sound if people called me Sam Shovel Nickel? Last night, somebody ransacked my office. They went over it with a fine-tooth comb. I know they went over it with a fine-tooth comb because this morning when I came in, the horsehair sofa had a part in it. I'm so mad I can see red.
Hi, Sam.
Hi, Red. In the office across the court, I see the beautiful stenographer combing her hair. She just combed out her bangs. I'm a little thirsty. I think I'll have some orange juice. I squeeze my orange juice the hard way. The hard way. I place the orange in my mouth, stick my head in the doorway, and slowly close the door. On my way to the office, I found a woman's handbag. I wonder what's in it. I decide to empty the contents on my desk. That takes care of the change purse. I wonder what's in the bag. I look at my appointment book. I see that tonight I have a date with a gorgeous peach. I think I'll break it and make a date with a girl. I look out the window. In the garage across the street, the mechanic is working on a car.
On your mark, get set, go!
No matter what car comes in, he always races the motor. Coming up the street, I see my pal, Lieutenant Abbott of the Homicide Squad. What a cop. Whenever the police department makes a raid, Lieutenant Abbott is a spearhead. Not that he's so brave, but he's the only cop in the department with a head like a spear. Abbott is a quiet cop. Every Sunday he sits home and listens to the radio. He's trying to win the jackpot on Stop the Music. He's trying to win it the hard way. The hard way. He has no telephone. It's a chilly day, and I've got a fire going in the kitchenette of my little office. There's a kettle boiling on the stove.
Hello, Sam Shovel. What's that smell coming from your kitchenette?
It's my washing.
I thought it smelled too good to be your cooking. I'm mighty tired, Sam.
So are your jokes.
I'm really tired. I just been out on a wild goose chase.
What were you chasing?
A wild goose.
Lieutenant Abbott used to be a comedian. Tried to make a living. He tried to make a living with his monkey shines. He had to give it up. There's no money in shining monkeys. Lieutenant Abbott, I've got bad news for you. Your cook was picked up this morning for passing a bad check.
Whose check was it?
Yours.
That's not funny, Sam Shovel. You weren't a friend of mine, I'd punch you in the nose.
I knew Lieutenant Abbott was only bluffing. He couldn't punch his way out of a paper bag. But that don't worry him. After all, how often do you get stuck in a paper bag?
Wait a minute. Cut the small town talk, Sam. Lefty Lumphead is in town and he's gunning for you.
I know that, Lieutenant. I've already notified the police. They've thrown a net over the city. I'll call headquarters and see how they're making out. Hello, Chief.
Yes?
This is Sam Shovel. Have you got that net out for Lefty Lumphead?
Yes.
How's the net working? Did you catch Lefty yet?
No, the net's working fine. Already we've caught 3 butterflies.
Sam, this is really serious. Lefty Lumphead is a killer. He's out to get you. He may be on his way here now, and I know you're afraid of him.
Me? Afraid of Lefty Lumphead? Pish, tush. I'd like to see the day I'd be afraid of him.
Hello, Sam.
This is the day. Before me stood the toughest killer on the coast. When he was 8 years old, he shot his father and mother. Then he asked the judge for mercy on the grounds that he was an orphan. What a tough mug. He's got cauliflower ears. Never was a fighter, it's just that his ears was made out of cauliflower. I noticed Lieutenant Abbott's hand reached for his holster. Abbott's gun barked.
Okay, coppers, I got you covered. Sam Shovel, I got one bullet in this gun. It's for you. I'm going to give you a break, Sam. I'll put that bullet wherever you say.
If it's all the same to you, put it in Lieutenant Abbott.
You're pretty clever, Lefty Lumphead. You're one of the smartest burglars in the business. But there's something I want to ask you.
Huh?
How is it you've never been caught robbing a house?
It's easy. It's easy. I only rob houses on Thursday nights.
Why did you pick Thursday nights?
Because Abbott and Costello are on the air Thursday nights, and, brother, when they're on the air, nobody stays home.
Lefty, that's a lie. Abbott and Costello are on right now. I'll prove it's a lie by checking with the police department. Hello, police department. Can you tell me...
We ain't got time to talk to you now.
Why?
Every house in town is being robbed.
I had taken all I could stand from that killer. Quick as a flash, I pulled my gun.
Sam, Lefty is seriously wounded. Your bullet went through his shoulder.
Call the hospital.
What have you done? What have you done? Sam Shovel, you shot my boyfriend.
Lefty's girl, the most gorgeous moll in the underworld. She's beautiful.
Look, he's bleeding.
Call the hospital.
He's the only boyfriend I've got, and he's liable to die.
Call the hospital.
If he dies, who's going to love me and squeeze me and kiss me?
Call the morgue.
Costello, I got to give you credit. You were in there pitching tonight.
Yes, and I'd like to give a little credit to our team, Abbott. Everybody knows I'm always pitching, and Abbott, you're always catching. But we got other players on the team.
Oh, sure. What's on second?
No, we're not going to start that. I just wanted to say that our writing staff is headed by Eddie Foreman with Paul Conlon, Pat Costello, Martin Ragaway, and Len Stern.
That's right. And Matty Melnick leads the band.
And all this nonsense is put together by our producer, Charles Vander. And we'd love to have you all with us again next Thursday night.
Thanks to them for working, and thanks to you for listening. Hope you'll be back next Thursday night. Good night, folks.
Good night. Good night to everybody in Patterson. Good night.
Listen each Thursday night at this time for another great Abbott and Costello show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood. Be sure to stay tuned for the outstanding entertainment which follows throughout the evening on this ABC station.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Detective. Thelma Darling.
Last name, Sam?
Roger.
Thelma Roger.
Darling.
I only asked, Sam.
Let's get on with it.
Yes, Sam, I'm sorry. From Samuel Spade, license number 1377596. Subject?
Subject, the Quarter Eagle caper.
Dear Thelma Darling.
Sam,
Yes, Eth?
isn't that redundant?
Again?
The salutation, Sam. Shouldn't it be Dear Thelma or Thelma Darling? But not both?
Now, get this, Eth. It's real deep. Her name is Thelma Darling.
I have that, dear. Thelma Roger.
Darling, it's a name. Her father was a darling before her.
Oh, really, Sam? Can't you take a joke?
On the egg type, you should paste the label, grade AA, fresh. Dear Thelma Darling, I'm stubborn. Not all of this will be news to you. The part that is will be bad news. The start of it was not a quarter eagle, but a bald eagle. He swooped in through the door of my office, landed in front of my desk, perched on the edge of a chair, and said...
My name is Eagle, Mr. Spade. Junius J. Eagle. My card.
Eagle Vending Machine Company.
They call me the Gumball King. I'm proud of it. Care to join me in a ball, sir?
Not while I'm on duty.
It's very good, our new avocado flavor. Yes, I've kept the Bay Area chewing for 20 years. And I will not be swerved from my purpose.
Bully.
I intend to fight them tooth and nail. Hammer and tongs. To the last ditch.
Bravo.
But I'll need help. That's why I've come to you. My competitors, Mr. Spade, are leaving no stone unturned in their contemptible campaign to drive me out of business. Now they've resorted to outright sabotage. In short, they have hired hoodlums to destroy my gumball machines. They've already smashed 11. And they won't be content until they've demolished my entire equipment.
Sounds like a police case to me, Mr. Eagle.
No, I've been to the police. No, they don't understand my problem. Gave me a lot of double talk about juvenile delinquents. Ha, my foot. Cutthroat competition.
You're sure of that?
Well, what would you think? If theft were their motive, they most certainly would steal the pennies from the machines, but what do they take? My gumballs. And why do they do that?
I'll buy.
Oh, well, by all means. Oh, here, try this. It's our bestseller in Chinatown. We call it Subgum.
Better not. I have to drive later.
Now, I had the foresight to buy up a 3-year supply of chewing gum at non-inflation prices.
So I see.
Well, you can see with what thoroughness they encompass my ruination. They are not only smashing my machines, they're making off with my gum.
And you want me to try and stop them?
No, I do not. No. I want you to catch them in the act and find out who is paying them.
Well, okay, Mr. Eagle. I'll see what I can do.
Good. Now, in this envelope is a list of my machines and their exact locations, together with a check for your retainer.
Thank you, Mr. Eagle. I'll keep in touch with you. Mr. Eagle, I meant to ask you, how many of these gum machines do you operate here in town?
300. And guard them well.
300? 300 nuts.
300 nuts, Sam?
No, 300 gums. Gumball machines.
Sam, isn't it wonderful you took this job? I mean, because of my penny card.
I'm sorry if I wasn't listening.
My penny card, Sam. My new one, that is. I've already completed my Lincoln series, and now I'm collecting Indian heads.
Scalps?
No, Sam, pennies. You see, this is the card. And these little slots, you see right there, that's where you put the pennies. And they're classified according to the date and the mint where they're manufactured. Now, you see, Sam, where the little S is on these? Now, that's for the San Francisco mint. And the D, that's for Denver.
Figures.
And the ones with nothing, that's for Washington, D.C.
Yeah, well, that's a very nice hobby. Pardon me. 300 gumball machines.
You see, that's what I had in mind, Sam. All those pennies. Indian head pennies are scarce, Sam. You have to go through a lot of pennies to find even one. Honestly, sometimes when I go past one of those penny machines, it's all I can... Oh.
F, this is all right between you and me, but don't ever mention your hobby to Mr. Eagle.
No, I won't.
Riddle me this, sweetheart. How does one detective guard 300 gumball machines scattered all over the city?
Well, if they're going to smash all of them, you could just pick out one in the middle and somewhere and wait.
No good. If it's an organized plan of sabotage, there might be some pattern. You seem to have given this some thought, though, Effie. How would you pick them?
In the busy places where they'd have more pennies.
But they're not after the pennies. They take the gum.
Well, then maybe the quiet sections where they don't sell much stuff.
Well, they've knocked over 11 so far, here, there, and everywhere. Busy spots, dead spots. No pattern at all. You know, Effie, maybe I've bitten off more than I can chew. I wasn't sold on Mr. Eagle's theory that the caper was organized sabotage, but I decided to test it out anyway. I learned the operation did follow a pattern, unless it was coincidence that the 11 machines knocked over the previous night were the same 11 machines that had been refilled that afternoon. I checked with the Eagle Company's maintenance man and learned that only 5 had been refilled today. I picked the one that looked like the easiest to knock over. It was the one in the doorway of a darkened loft building near the Siemens hiring hall on Drum Street. At 9 p.m., I strolled down there. The block was deserted. I took a plant in the adjacent doorway and talked to myself until just before midnight. I shut up. My heart skipped a beat as she passed under the light. Red hair. My secretary? Then I noticed how she was dressed. Not on the salary I paid. She paused before the gum machine, opened a large handbag, stripped off her long black gloves, dropped them in her purse, and took out a small Boy Scout-type hatchet. She went at it with the enthusiasm of Perry Nation busting up a saloon. I edged around the doorway as she bent over the mess of pennies and gumballs at her feet. When she reached out her hand, I took one more step, and that was all. She was up on her feet facing me, and I saw that hatchet sailing through the air straight at me. Hey!
Now see what you've done.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I won't let it happen again, I hope.
Well, don't just stand there. Let's get out of here. That noise, it'll bring the police down on us.
Yeah, you're right. No, not that way. The alley. And that's how I met you, Thelma, darling. Pausing only to pick up an Indian head penny for luck, I escorted you through the alley to Washington, up Washington to Salon, jogged through Front Street, and followed back to Market, where we entered the Happy Hour Bar and Grill by way of the kitchen. You proceeded unfalteringly to the darkest booth. We sat down and caught our breath. You ordered a pirate's dream. By the way, I did get that recipe. Lime juice, grenadine, passion fruit, a sprig of mint, and 6 jiggers of rum. After 2 swallows, I heard myself saying, now aren't you ashamed of yourself?
But, Sam, why should I be? After what I've been through, I think I deserve a drink.
I didn't mean that. I meant throwing that hatchet at me.
I thought you were Merle.
Who's Merle?
Why, he works for Mr. Chiselhurst.
Yeah, that figures. Now tell me who Mr. Chiselhurst is. Not who he works for, just who he is.
He was acting as my agent for the sale of the pearl.
Well, Natch. Look, please, don't make me say what pearl.
It's called the Black Pearl of Galila Bay. My brother brought it back from the South Pacific when he was in the war.
Oh, yes.
When he went to prison, he gave it to me to keep for him.
So you decided to sell it?
I had no choice. I needed the money desperately to finance his appeal. It comes up next week.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't get that pearl back, I don't know what I'll do. You've got to help me.
What makes you think it's in a gumball machine?
Mr. Chiselhurst took the pearl to show to a man named Junius Eagle, and that's when it disappeared. Mr. Eagle decided not to buy. And when Mr. Chiselhurst returned to the hotel...
Eagle had found the pearl and substituted a ball of blackjack gum. Then what?
Mr. Chiselhurst had Merle follow him. Nothing happened the first 2 days. But day before yesterday, he followed him to his warehouse and saw him drop a single ball of gum into a barrel of them that was waiting to be loaded onto a truck. The pearl must have been hidden in it. Why else would he do a thing like that?
He would put a valuable pearl in a machine where anybody could buy it for a penny.
I suppose it would be safe for a few days. I don't know how these machines work. Well, now you know why I had to break those machines.
No.
You don't believe me?
Mm-mm.
Well, what are you going to do?
Check the psycho wards and find out which one you escaped from.
Hello?
Mr. Eagle?
Speaking.
Spade.
Oh, yeah, I just got in. I've been out making my monthly collection.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I want to talk to you. You're falling down on my job. Another of my machines.
Yeah, I know. Drum Street. I nailed the hoodlum.
Ah. Who's he working for?
Let me ask you one. Did a man named Chiselhurst ever try to sell you a black pearl? Hello, you still on the line? You stopped chewing.
Yes. I think you better come over to my house. Right away.
Hello. Nuts. When I came out of the phone booth, I wasn't surprised to find that you had flown the coop, darling, if I may call you by your last name. But I was surprised at what I found at my client's house. I rang the front doorbell and waited. Nothing happened. Then, through the glass door, I saw a man rush out on the landing at the top of the stairs. He half ran, half stumbled down the long flight to the entrance hall, yanked open the door, and tried to shove past me. I grabbed him.
Hey, get out of my way.
Wait a minute.
Let go. I got to get a doctor.
You're bleeding.
No, not me. I've got to get a doctor.
Why don't you phone?
They ripped the wires out. Now let go, or it'll be your fault if he dies.
I memorized his mug, lifted his wallet as we unclinched, and let him go. On the way upstairs, I checked his ID cards. Higgins, Morris L., employer, Eagle Vending Machine Company, occupation, maintenance supervisor. On the floor of the room at the top of the stairs was quite a sight. The floor of the room was covered almost completely with pennies. In the middle of it, sprawled forward like a miser who had been attacked while counting his hoard, was Junius J. Eagle. The wound in the back of his neck could have been caused by a small hatchet. There was a bookkeeper's account sheet open across the desk, and scrawled across the neat rows of figures there were 3 words: Spade, Quarter, and Eagle.
The United States Armed Forces Radio Service is presenting the weekly adventure of Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, Sam Spade.
And now, back to the Quarter Eagle Caper, tonight's adventure with Sam Spade.
That you, Higgins?
Yeah.
Save yourself the trip upstairs. There's nothing you can do for him.
Oh, dead, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I guess he won't need that doctor I called.
We can use one anyway. Did you tell the doc Eagle had been stabbed?
Yeah, sure I did.
Yeah, that means the law will come with him or ahead of him.
But I don't get it. He must have been killed for the money, but why didn't they take the pennies?
They should have. It'd look better for you if they had.
You're that detective he hired, huh?
That's right. Now, look, Higgins, we haven't got much time. If you want to find out who killed your boss, spill everything you know to me now, before the cops get here. Because they're going to hold you, and they'll hold me, too, if they find me here.
But I don't know a thing, Spade. I just found him like that.
How did you get in the house?
I have a key. He gave me one, so when I came here to pick up the pennies, he wouldn't have to come all the way down to let me in.
For now, tell the cops the door was open. Did he always collect the pennies from the machines himself?
Yeah. He was a coin collector as a hobby. He liked to go through them and save out the odd ones.
You always pick up the money at 1 in the a.m.?
Oh, no. No, he called me tonight a little past midnight, and he asked me to come right over. Hey, look, you got to believe that.
I do. He said the same thing to me. What do you know about a man named Chiselhurst?
Hey, wait a minute. That's the name of the guy that ran into my truck yesterday coming down the California incline near Grant. He slammed right into the rear of my truck. I tangled with his chauffeur, some punk kid.
Named Merle?
Yes, that's what they called him. And there was a dame in the car, too, a redhead.
Any report on the accident?
No, the cop took it down on the beat there. There wasn't no damage.
Sounds like we haven't got much more time here.
Oh.
What exactly happened the night the first gum machine on your route was smashed up? Come on.
Well, first off, I went to a bowling alley on Church Street and we moved our machine there. It was discontinued.
Wait a minute. Where did you take it? Back to the shop?
Oh, wait a second. I got it here in my book.
Come on.
All right, I'm hurrying. Here it is, 11864.
Mm-hmm.
No, I exchanged it for an out of order down on Drum Street.
Did you leave the pennies in it?
Oh, sure. They only get collected once a month.
How much gum was in it?
About half full. I didn't refill it until today.
Yeah. What's your system on the refill operation?
Well, I carry about 4 extra machines in the truck. When I go to fill a machine, I take one of the extras already filled out of the truck and trade for the empty.
Yeah.
Then I fill the empty one in the truck, and that saves me from carrying the bag around. Now, is there anything else I can tell you?
Yeah.
Huh?
Does Quarter Eagle mean anything to you?
No.
Okay, now where's the back door? That Quarter Eagle. What was it? Was it a wrestling hole like the Half Nelson? I thought of asking Effie, but I was afraid she'd know. I was sure that if I could find Chiselhurst, I could get all the answers at once. That collision between his car and the rear end of Higgins' truck was a good lead in more ways than one. It meant that at least part of your story, darling, was true. But you neglected to tell me that you, Chiselhurst, and Merle had been tailing Higgins' appointed rounds with a gumball machine. I checked the police report on the accident. The car was registered in Great Britain. The report said transient, no local address, and so to bed. I dreamed it was next Thanksgiving, and I was eating a roasted Quarter Eagle. Then it turned into crow.
Good morning, sir. Do you wish to place a classified ad?
Good morning to you, madam. Indeed, I do.
Kindly write it on this blank.
Kindly read it off this blank.
Well, Quarter Eagle. Interested parties apply Sam Spade. Sutter 37596.
That's right.
That's 9 words, sir. I'll have to charge you for 3 lines anyway. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Yes, but it's not fit to print. Barney's Beanery.
Mr. Spade?
Yeah.
You got it for sale at Quarter Eagle?
Who's speaking?
I am speaking. Sergei Zacharias.
Zacharias.
You are numismatist?
No, this is Mr. Spade himself. Look, I'd like to talk to you personally. Where can I reach you?
Oh, I am by my shop, 2 doors from Belvedere Coffee Shop on O'Farrell Street.
Okay, Mr. Zacharias, I'll be right over.
Sam, wait a moment. I got to talk to you.
Why didn't you do more talking last night? My client might be alive if you had.
Oh, it's terrible. But how could I have known?
You knew about the Quarter Eagle. Why did you spin that yarn about the pearl?
How did you find out about it?
Dead men sometimes do tell tales.
Surely you don't think that I had anything to do with that.
He was only hacked to death with a hatchet like the one you threw at me. That makes you look fine.
All right, I killed him, if that'll make you listen to me. Sam, don't go into that shop.
Please,
it's a
new
trap.
suit.
You don't know that man Zacharias. He's the cause of all our troubles.
You mean he sold you that hatchet?
Sam, please!
Quit clawing me. Let go.
I won't allow you to go in there. I won't.
Wait a minute. What's going on here? What's the occasion of the squabble? Oh, well, no, it's Mr. Spade.
Yeah, Clancy, this dame here just tried to pick my pocket.
Ah, pickpocket, is it? Glory be in such a pretty one, too.
Never mind that, Clancy. Just have it locked up. I'll be down later to prefer charges. Hello? Anybody home?
Okay, Shamus. Just keep on walking. Straight through the back room. One move and I rip you wide open.
Yeah. Better not, Merle. Your boss might not like that.
Smart guy. Knows everybody's name.
Oh, my dear sir. A most propitious meeting. You've brought the Quarter Eagle?
Where's Zacharias?
He's resting at the moment in yonder closet. Oh, no, not dead. Merely under restraint. Bound and gagged. A necessary precaution. Well, shall we talk turkey, or rather, eagle?
Tell your punk to take that knife out of my ribs.
Who's a punk?
Now, Merle. There's been quite enough violence.
Check. I think I'll take that knife. Leave it there. Now, sit down.
Merle. Oh, headstrong boy. Now, as to the Quarter Eagle. I'm willing to pay a reasonable reward for its recovery. But first I must tell you that Miss Darling, for whom I'm acting as agent for the sale of the coin, is indeed the legal owner, despite anything Mr. Zacharias may have told you to the contrary. What would you say to $500?
I would say no dice.
1,000?
I would say I'm still listening.
Sir, you seem to exaggerate the value of that tiny gold piece.
It was worth one human life to somebody. That sounds like more than $1,000 to me.
You may find the market valuation of that particular mintage of the Quarter Eagle in my coin catalog, $10,000. But, sir, that valuation is based upon the mistaken belief that there were only 2 in existence. It was while rummaging in her grandmother's attic that Miss Darling came upon a third. When she brought it to me, I could scarcely credit it. It was matter of official record that 2 specimens had been stamped out when the die broke. And then it came to me. There must have been a third. Namely, the coin which was in that rude stamping press when the die broke. Closer examination of the Quarter Eagle, now in your possession, revealed certain markings.
Yeah.
Some defective feathers in the war bonnet on the obverse. And a cleavage in the numeral 4 of the date, 1841.
Yeah, all right. So how much is it worth?
Well, as I say, the price last paid was $10,000. I think we may safely assume it will bring several times that amount in today's market. But only, mind you, if but 2 specimens, not 3, are in existence.
So you decided it would be more profitable to clam up about it and see what the owners of the other 2 coins would pay to keep this one off the market.
Precisely, sir.
How did it get in that gum machine?
Therein lies the tale.
Keep it short, will you? I'm getting hungry.
Well, sir, I brought the Quarter Eagle to Mr. Zacharias.
Yeah.
Who was acting as agent for the owner of the other 2 coins. An Australian sheep herder, I believe. Retired now.
Yes, I'm glad.
Well, not to put too fine a point on it, Mr. Zacharias' offer was so poor that I took umbrage.
Oh, you didn't?
I gave him a caning and left the premises.
Really?
But I'd gone no farther than half a league up Turk Street when I became aware that 2 ruffians were skulking at my heels.
No.
Sent, I have no doubt, by Mr. Zacharias to rob me of the Quarter Eagle.
Egad, sir.
Precisely.
Knowing full well that they would not dare to strike in a populous, well-lighted resort,
Yes.
I entered a bowling alley at the corner of Hyde Street. No pun intended.
Thank you for that, sir.
But there upon the wall, I spied a penny vending machine, and the word Eagle caught my eye. Association of ideas, no doubt.
No doubt.
But that, sir, is how I came to put the quarter eagle into Mr. Eagle's gum machine.
Yes, I think I can take it from there. When you went back, the machine had been taken out by the Eagle Company's maintenance man, right?
Not quite. I caught him in the very act of removing the machine and followed him out of the building.
Yeah, but then you lost track of the machine. I found out why. Never mind that now. What I want to know is who followed Mr. Eagle home the night he was killed.
I'd rather not say.
Then all bids are off.
One moment, Mr. Spade.
Yeah?
Am I to infer that your price for the quarter eagle necessarily includes bringing the murderer to justice?
Just that, Mr. Chislehurst.
Well, I suppose there's nothing for it but to make the supreme sacrifice. Merle.
Me? You double-crossing pig?
Now, Merle, you know perfectly well you did away with poor Mr. Eagle.
Shut up. I'll cut you to pieces.
Gross insubordination. You deliberately exceeded your instructions. I wanted you to apply only sufficient violence to recover the coin. Instead, you seized the opportunity to satisfy your nauseating bloodlust. Really, Merle?
Cut you to pieces. I'll cut you to pieces.
All right, ow! Drop the shiv, Merle. Knock that, you punk.
Egad, that was a near thing, sir. The base ingratitude of that boy. Oh, well, what's done is done. When may I expect delivery of the quarter eagle?
I didn't answer him. To cover my embarrassment, I gagged him, manacled him to Merle, and delivered the package marked one murderer, one accessory to the dumbfounded millions of the law. And that, Thelma, darling, I regret to inform you, is still the crop. After I'd sprung you from the pokey, I got hold of Higgins, and we went through every coin out of every Eagle gumball machine in the city of San Francisco. It couldn't happen, but it did. Your quarter Eagle is, shall we say, no place. Period. End of report.
Sam, I'm disappointed in you.
Well, so am I, sweetheart.
But I'll forgive you if you found even one Indian head penny from my penny card.
Yeah, just one from that machine on Drum Street.
Oh, Sam.
There you are, sweetheart.
Oh, thank you. And it's an old one.
And no older than I feel. Go type that up.
Sam, this money, it's counterfeit.
Are you sure?
It's joke money. It says $2.50. You see where it should say 1 cent? $2.50.
Let me see that. $2.50. If an eagle is a $10 gold piece, what is a $2.50 gold piece?
Oh, now, let me see. $5 would be half. Sam.
Right. A quarter eagle. Yeah, that's just dirt on it, see? It's gold, really.
Oh, look at it shine.
Like the stars in your eyes, sweetheart.
Oh, you darling. Good night, Sam.
Good night, sweetheart.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, are produced and directed by William Spear. Sam Spade is played by Howard Duff. Lorene Tuttle is Effie.
This is the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.
What time is it?
It's time for the Abbott and Costello Show. We're on the air for ABC here in Hollywood.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go with the Abbott and Costello Show.
Yes, it's the Abbott and Costello Show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood for your listening and laughing pleasure. Chuckles with a carload and music by Matty Malnick. So hold on to your chairs, folks, for here they are, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
quiet down.
Need some money? Come here.
Quiet down. Quiet down. What are you doing with those boxing gloves?
I'm going to enter the Golden Gloves tournament. I've been training.
You, a prize fighter?
Yes, I'm known as Butcher Boy Costello.
Butcher Boy Costello?
Yes, I gave my opponent a left to the heart, a right to the kidneys, a left to the chops, and a right cross to the short ribs.
And then?
He knocked me on my pot roast.
You don't even look like a fighter. Being strong is all in the mind, you know, Costello.
It is?
Sure. You have to think strong. Think of Atlas, and you'll have a shape like him. Think of Hercules, and you'll have a shape like his.
That method won't work with me, Abbott.
Why not?
I keep thinking of Rita Hayworth.
What do you think will happen to you if you got knocked around and got punched, drunk, and goofy?
I can always be a straight man like you.
Sure you can. How do you think you'd look with a cauliflower ear, a mushroom nose, and a squash face?
I'd be the only guy in Hollywood with a built-in home garden.
Costello, you're a moron.
What's that?
You're a moron.
That's enough, Abbott. One more word out of you and I'll fight.
Idiot.
That ain't the word.
Costello, you're in a class with an imbecile.
I know. Want me to help you out with your homework?
I'll get him out of here. Terrible. I never saw you looking so bad, Lou. What happened to you?
What happened?
Yeah.
You know what happened.
What?
I don't get a chance to do nothing on the show.
Oh, stop.
Oh, I went to that quiz show. Truth or coincidences? They asked me a question. When I didn't give them the answer, they hit me over the head with a crowbar and ripped my clothes off and hit me in the face with a pie and squirted dirty water all over me.
Well, that's terrible.
Yeah, but the joke was on them.
It was?
Mm-hmm. I knew the answer all the time.
You should quit hanging around quiz shows trying to win something for nothing. You ought to get yourself a job and go to work.
I tried to. I studied to be a bartender. I went to the bartender school for 2 years, and I still can't get a job.
Why not?
I can't fix a television set.
I thought so. You're just stupid. Your whole family is stupid.
How can you say that? My Uncle Mike is a very brilliant man. He invented the cotton gin, the telephone, and the steamboat.
What about Whitney, Bell, and Fulton?
Leave the Andrews sisters out of this.
What is your Uncle Mike doing now, Lou?
He's part-time lifeguard at the Del Mar Hotel swimming pool.
Are you kidding? Uncle Mike can't even swim.
That's why he's only working part-time. He had a lot of trouble with Aunt May last week.
He did?
Yeah, he got her a new set of false teeth, and he told her not to take them out. He begged her not to take them out. He pleaded with her not to take them out, but she did.
What happened?
Her head collapsed.
Well, your Aunt May is quite a woman, Lou. She raised quite a family.
Oh, yes. 3 years ago at the Patterson Fair, she won first prize for having the most little boys in one family. She had 15 little boys.
What was first prize?
A little boy.
Never mind that. Whatever happened to your Aunt May's younger sister?
Oh, she graduated from high school this year, and she's so excited she's going to Harvard.
Harvard? Harvard is a boys' school.
Yeah, that's why she's so excited.
She's going to Harvard. That's ridiculous. None of your family ever went to college.
Is that so? I'm taking a night course right now at UCLA.
Well, now, I'm glad to hear
In other words, that's UCLA.
UCLA. Well, disregard UCLA. I'm glad to hear it, Lou. How are you making out?
Not so good. Monday night, the teacher asked each pupil to bring something that would show what they want to be when they get out of school.
Well, now, it sounds interesting.
Yeah, one guy wanted to be a policeman, so he brought a button off a policeman's uniform. One girl wanted to be a nurse, so she brought a button off a nurse's uniform. Another guy wanted to be a fireman, so he brought a button off a fireman's uniform.
And what did you bring?
Nothing.
Why not?
I wanted to be married. How are you going to get a button off of that?
You want to be married. You don't know the first thing about marriage. You don't even know what it takes to make a marriage.
I do so. It only takes two people to make a marriage.
Well, that's right.
A single girl and an anxious mother. As far as I'm concerned, marriage is a three-ring circus.
What do you mean a three-ring circus?
Well, first the engagement ring.
Yes.
Then the wedding ring.
Yes.
And then suffering.
Oh, stop. Are you still going with that striptease dancer at the burlesque show?
Oh, sure. Every night I bring her 3 roses.
Does she wear them?
She has to. It's her costume.
What about that new girl that moved in the apartment next to you?
Well, I tell you, Abbott, I had a date with her, and she's a bachelor girl.
Well, what makes you think she's a bachelor girl?
She looks more like a bachelor than she does a girl.
How old a girl is she, Lou?
Abbott, asking a girl's age is like buying a used car.
What do you mean?
Well, you know the speedometer has been set back, but you don't know how far.
Where did you take her on the date?
Well, we went to a soda fountain and had one of those fancy dishes. You know, ice cream and bananas.
Split?
No, I paid the whole check.
Well, she doesn't sound like the kind of girl for you, Costello. Tell me, do you still date that cute little blonde from Pomona?
Oh, sure. I had a date to go horseback riding with her last night.
You did?
Yes, we rode along through the moonlight. It was beautiful. Her horse was nuzzling my horse. My horse was nuzzling her horse.
Ah, it must have been fun.
It was for the horses. My girl didn't show up. I guess she saw it me because I bought her mother a girdle, and her mother got mad, too.
Well, what size does her mother wear? Small, medium, or large?
Oh, no. Women's girdles don't come in those sizes, Abbott.
They don't?
Oh, no.
What sizes do they come in?
Large, larger, and here comes the showboat.
Hello, Uncle Bud. Hello, Uncle Louie.
It's Abbott's nephew, folks. I left orders with the doorman not to let you win. Now, how did you get past him?
I held your script under his nose and then stepped over his body.
There must be a way to keep this guy out of here. Now, I've got it. I'll hypnotize him. Come over here, Norman.
Oh, now, wait a minute, Costello. What are you going to do to him?
I'm going to hypnotize him and put him to sleep. Look me straight in the eye, Norman.
Okay.
You're going to sleep. Abba-dabba, sleep. Abba-dabba, sleep. Abba-dabba, sleep.
I think it's working, Uncle Louie.
It is?
Yeah, my abba-dabba is asleep.
Now, you lay off, Norman. He's my sister Olive's boy. And Olive's a very lovely person and a big woman in this town.
I noticed that. Your sister Olive is built like the state of Indiana.
Just what do you mean?
She has a large South Bend.
My sister Olive is a leader of society. Before she moved to Hollywood, she was the rage of Kansas City.
Your sister Olive would throw any city into a rage. She came to the right place when she came to Hollywood. She's a typical Hollywood girl.
What do you mean?
A Hollywood girl at 30 has wrinkles. At 35, she has gray hair. And at 40, she becomes a blonde and starts all over again.
Say what you want about my sister Olive, but she's a very well-educated woman. She's a college graduate. And she has a sheepskin.
I noticed that. She ought to try using Jergens lotion.
You know, you have no business ridiculing my family. Now, last week you were picking on my wife. My wife comes from one of the finest families in California. She's a Tracy.
Any relation to Dick Tracy?
Certainly not. Dick Tracy is a character in a comic book.
Your wife is no oil painting.
Hello, boys.
Hey, look, Costello, it's our secretary, Viola Vaughn.
Well, Viola, you certainly look lovely tonight. What is that you're wearing?
Oh, do you like it? This is my nightclub dress.
Nightclub dress?
Don't you get it, Abbott? No cover.
Oh, you look gorgeous tonight. You and I would make a lovely pair. We'd be just like a couple of lovebirds.
Would we?
Oh, I'll show you. First, I put one wing around you like this. Then I put my other wing around you like this. Then I beak up close to your beak. Then I coo softly.
Oh, what do I do?
Don't stand there, Viola. Drop a worm in his mouth.
Now, I'm serious about her. And you're not. Why, Viola, I'd bring you the moon on a silver platter.
Oh, that's wonderful, Abbott. How about you, Costello? Would you bring me the moon on a silver platter?
What do I look like, a waiter?
The moon on a silver platter is a poetic expression like they use in song.
Oh, you know I wrote a song about the moon? A very beautiful thing, too.
And what's the name of it?
I call it Carolina Moon, What Are You Doing Over Glendale?
Stop, Costello. You know nothing about writing songs.
Oh, I not only write songs, I sing them. Why, when I was in kindergarten, every morning I would get up in front of the class and sing Rockabye Baby all the way through.
Oh, that was marvelous.
Yeah, there was nothing to it. I was 21 years old at the time.
You know any other songs, Costello?
Oh, every night I lay in bed and I sing an Irish lullaby. Did
that put you to sleep, Costello?
Certainly. You don't think I'd stay awake and listen to that howling, do you?
Well, I saw you last night, Costello. I saw you. You had a cat on a leash. Hey, that certainly is a funny-looking cat. Is he yours?
Yes, he's mine. He's a football cat. I call him First Down.
What do you name the cat First Down?
Every night he's got 10 yards to go.
Well, instead of being out walking a cat on a leash, a boy your age ought to be out with a girl.
Well, I like cats better. They're smarter than girls anyway.
What makes you say that cats are smarter than girls?
Well, Abbott, no matter how a girl tries, she can't wash her face with her tongue.
Pay no attention to him, Viola. Why don't you come over and see the preview of our new picture, Viola? Huh? I do some love scenes in the picture, and I want you to see my fade-out kiss.
You mean she'll see your faded-out kisser? Anyway, Viola has got a date with me.
Well, I don't think I'm going to keep it, Costello.
Why not?
Well, last Sunday he took me riding, and he insisted I wear a riding habit.
Naturally.
Monday he took me hiking, and he insisted I wear a hiking suit.
Naturally.
Tuesday he took me to dinner, and he insisted I wear a dinner gown.
Well, why are you breaking the date tonight?
Tonight he wants to take me to a birthday party.
Well, that did it. It's been a lot of fun, and it's been a beautiful evening up to now, Mabel.
Mabel? My name is Viola.
Well, whatever your name is, it's certainly been fun.
Get him out of here!
Ladies and gentlemen, Abbott and I heard a young singer in New York several weeks ago, and we liked him very much, and we brought him back to Hollywood to join our show, and here he is, and we hope you like him too, Hal Winters.
El cumba, 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 cumbanchero. A bongo, 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 bongo cero. Brigati que va sonando cumbanchero. Bongo cero que se va. Bongo cero que se va. El cumba, 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 cumbanchero. A bongo, 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 bongo cero. Brigati que va sonando cumbanchero. Bongo cero que se va. Bongo cero que se va. Sueña ritando rickety, bum 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 ba. Y sueña ripica rickety, bum 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 ba. El cumba 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 cumbanchero, a bongo 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 cero. Rickety que va sonando cumbanchero, bongo cero bango cero que se va. El cumba, 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 cumbunchero. A bango, 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 bango cero. Reggae que va sonando, cumbunchero, bango cero que se va, bango cero que se va. A cumba, 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 cumbunchero. A bango, 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 bango cero. Reggae que va sonando, cumbunchero, bango cero que se va, bango cero que se va. Y sueña ritando de reggae, bum 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 ba. Y sueña ritando de reggae, bum 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 ba. El cumba 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 cumbachero, a cumba 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 cumbachero. Reggae que va sonando cumbachero, bango cerro que se va, bango cerro que se va.
Costello, something's got to be done about the parking conditions around this studio. Tonight I couldn't see a parking space in front of the studio, in back of the studio, or even across the street from the studio.
Could be worse.
What do you mean?
Yeah, but suppose you had a car.
Yeah. Well, never mind that. Did your Uncle Mike drive you down here tonight?
No, my Uncle Mike just took his California driver's test today. You should have seen him. He got in a car with the inspector, backed into a truck, bumped into a streetcar, and then he crashed into a stone wall.
Did he pass?
We won't know till next Wednesday.
Why not?
That's the day the inspector gets out of the hospital.
Did your Uncle Mike go to see his favorite program, What's Doing, Ladies?
Yes, and there was a line in front of that studio 2 blocks long.
Never mind that. How did he like What's Doing, Ladies?
I don't know. By the time he got in, they were through doing it.
I don't know. You know, your Uncle Mike is an ignoramus. He ought to get himself an education.
Yes, he's got one, Abbott. Why, 10 years ago, Uncle Mike was a garbage collector without an education. Then he went to night school and he graduated. And what a difference that made in him.
What is he now?
A garbage collector with an education.
Well, never mind him, Costello. What is your Sam Shovel detective story for tonight?
It's a fascinating case, Abbott. I call it the case of the Curbstone murder, or Gertie, get out of the gutter. And let the water go by.
Sounds intriguing. Let's get on with the case.
Yeah, let's do that.
And now the makers of Smudge Pot cigarettes present the further adventures of Sam Shovel, Private Detective. But first, a word about our product, Smudge Pot cigarettes. Smudge Pots are the only cigarettes that contain no nicotine, no harmful tars, no tobacco. These cigarettes are made only from the finest domestic and Turkish towel. And remember our slogan, Smudge Pots are the only cigarettes that contain alum. Our slogan is, pucker while you puff. Now go to your cigar store tonight. They will give you a package of Smudge Pots for nothing. The package has no sharp edges. Take them home and throw them in your dresser. What a cigarette. So free. So easy on the drawers. And now to the adventures of Sam Shovel, Private Detective.
Yes, I'm Sam Shovel, Private Detective. I'm sitting in my little office looking at my new office safe. This time I got a real office safe. When I go home at night, I lock my office in it. I see a piece of string around my finger. Suddenly I remember what it's for. It's to remind me to take the string off my finger. I reach in my pocket for my tobacco. There's a big hole in my pocket. That's the last time I'll buy chewing tobacco. There's always shoots a hole in my pocket. This detective racket is plenty tough. You've got to work in all kinds of weather. Just listen to that wind howling outside.
I'll give you that if you'll give me this.
I'll give you this if you give me that. It's a trade wind. It was such a nice night as this that I was called to solve the famous farmyard murder. A fiendish farmer had cut off his hired man's head. He hid it in the alfalfa. What a tough case. It was like finding a noodle in a haystack. I decide to shave. I lather my face. The razor hums through my whiskers.
St. Louis woman with all her diamond rings.
I always use Gillette Blues blades. I decide to dial up a little in case a client should come in. I put on my swallowtail coat. I take it off. Seems silly for a man my age to wear a coat made of swallowtail. I noticed the headline in the morning paper. The country is in a strange position. On the next page it says eggs are going up. Chickens must be in a strange position, too. Suddenly the phone rings. Hello? Yes, this is Sam Shovel, the detective. Somebody that wants me to handle a case. Yes? No. No, I can't work that cheap. No, you know my prize. What's that? 5,000? Okay, I'll take the case. Right, 5,000. But remember, all Tootsie Rolls, no jelly beans. I thought of my friend, Lieutenant Abbott of the Homicide Squad. I might get him to help me on this case. Some people think Lieutenant Abbott has a screw loose in his head, but I know different. I tightened that screw in his head only yesterday. One thing I will say for Lieutenant Abbott, he knows his onions. He can walk in any vegetable store and say, that's an onion. But he's a real cop. Abbott don't know the meaning of the word intimidation. And that's only one of a million words you don't know the meaning of.
Hello, Sam Shovel.
It's my pal, Lieutenant Abbott of the Homicide Squad.
Sam, I'd like to leave my new cowhide briefcase in your office.
That's a pretty briefcase, Lieutenant.
Yeah, it's genuine cowhide. Open it.
Moo.
The cow is still hiding in it.
There's a picture of your wife in it, too. She looks kind of different in this picture.
It's her hair. She's wearing a page boy. Don't she look nice?
It's hard to tell. The page boy's feet are hanging down over her face.
Enough of this nonsense, Sam. The cops caught an old friend of yours last night. Shirley, the shoplifter.
Beautiful Shirley, the shoplifter. I once trailed her through a department store, through the shoe department, through the jewelry department, the furniture department, then I caught her in men's underwear.
This is serious, Sam. Shirley is in the prison hospital. She's unconscious. She keeps moaning, Perry. Perry! Perry!
You must be in the state of Como.
Sam, if you want to see Shirley alive, we better get over to the hospital at once. Let's go.
We arrived at the hospital. We were walking down the corridor. I was reading the signs on the door. Dr. Kildare, surgery, back in 10 minutes. Dr. Nichols, surgery, back in 15 minutes. Dr. Condon, perjury, back in 20 years.
Sam, here comes the doctor that's taking care of Shirley the shoplifter.
He looks like a phony to me.
I heard that, young man. I'll have you know that I've operated on over 300 patients, and I never lost a single one of them.
You didn't?
No, I know where each one of them is buried.
Doctor, can we go in and see Shirley now?
Yes, but don't stay too long, please. The patient must not have too much excitement.
Why not?
How do I know? All the radio doctors say that. My goodness. Aren't you Sam Shovel, the detective?
That's me.
Man, from the looks of you, you need medical attention. Shovel, if you'll come here tomorrow between 2 and 4 or between 6 and 8. Remember, between 2 and 4 or 6 and 8, I'll examine your head.
Why can't I come between 4 and 6?
That's when they're examining my head.
Come on, Sam Shovel. Here's Shirley's room.
Oh, poor Shirley, my poor Shirley.
Sir, who are you? And what are you doing here?
I'm Shirley's father. She's in the next room. She's got appendicitis. None of the doctors will operate on her. I'm afraid she'll die.
Cheer up, friend. I will operate on Shirley.
You? I thought you were a detective.
Before I became a detective, I was known as young Dr. Shovel.
Are you sure you can do it, Sam?
Am I sure I can do it? Certainly. I'll skin out to the car and get my satchel of surgical instruments.
Thank goodness he's got his satchel. She's right in there, Sam.
Here I go. Has anybody got a hammer?
Here's a hammer.
Thanks. Anybody got a chisel?
Here's a chisel.
Anybody got a blowtorch?
Wait a minute, Sam. Sam, hammer, chisel, blowtorch. What are you doing to Shirley?
What, Shirley? First, I got to open my satchel.
Costello, with Sam Shovel, you were really digging them up tonight. Get it? Shovel, digging them up? It's a joke, son. I dug up a joke.
Yes, and you'd better bury it again. Abbott, let's leave the jokes to our writer.
You mean we got writers?
Oh, he's only kidding, folks. He knows our writing staff. We're headed by Eddie Foreman with Paul Conlon, Pat Costello, Martin Ragaway, and Len Stern.
And I know that our producer is Charles Vanda.
That's pretty good for Abbott, folks, when you consider Vanda's only been on the show 2 years.
Good night, folks.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Listen each Thursday night at this time for another great Abbott and Costello show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood. Be sure to stay tuned for the outstanding entertainment which follows throughout the evening on this ABC station.
It's time for the Abbott and Costello Show. We're on the air for ABC here in Hollywood.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go with the Abbott and Costello Show.
Yes, it's the Abbott and Costello Show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood for your listening and laughing pleasure. Chuckles with a carload and music by Matty Malnick. So hold on to your chairs, folks, for here they are, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
Well, it's about time you got here. Where were you?
Well, Abbott, I met all the crown heads of Hollywood today.
Costello, there are no crown heads in Hollywood.
Abbott, you never walked through a picket line, have you?
Stop this nonsense and tell me where you've been.
Well, I was helping my Uncle Mike with his new invention. He's invented a plane that goes 5,000 miles an hour and goes to London in 5 minutes.
Wait a minute. If it goes 5,000 miles an hour and goes to London in 5 minutes, how does it stop?
Let London get a guy to work on that.
Costello, your Uncle Mike is as big a dope as you are.
Oh, yeah? Well, my Uncle Mike is a smart man, Abbott. For 10 years, he ran the Chase National Bank for the investors.
He did?
Yes, sir. And for the next 10 years, the investors ran a national chase for Uncle Mike.
Has Uncle Mike ever been in jail, Lou?
Yes. One time he got so full of Christmas spirit that they threw him in jail for singing Christmas carols.
Well, lots of people sing Christmas carols.
On the 4th of July? Poor Uncle Mike, he's in a hospital. He's got a mule on his nose.
Not a mule. You mean a mole?
No, not after the mule kicked him in a kisser. He's got a mule there.
All right. Costello, what keeps you from being the biggest idiot in the world?
I guess I'm too fat for my height.
Oh, get him out of here. have you been?
I was across the street having a beef stew.
Well, how was it?
Terrible. It had nothing in it but beef tongue and oxtails.
Well, what's wrong with beef tongues and oxtail?
Nothing. But who's getting all that stuff in between?
Look, hey, Lou, why don't you come over to my house for dinner? We always have a crowd. My wife's dinners are talk of the town, and they're always informal.
What do you mean informal?
Well, we don't dress for our dinners.
No wonder they're the talk of the town.
Well, one thing, there's always plenty of meat at our house.
Last time I was there, your wife gave me rabbit stew, and the next day when I came over, your cat was missing.
Just a minute. Are you trying to insinuate that my wife served you cat meat?
All I know is every time I met a dog on the street, my back arches.
My wife is a very particular cook. Her kitchen is immaculate. That's more than I can say about your Aunt May. Her kitchen is a disgrace. Her sink is filled with eggshells. The drawers in her kitchen cabinet are full of carrot tops and wilted lettuce. She's sloppy.
She is not. That's her hobby. She collects garbage. You know, garbage is the same as antiques.
Garbage is the same as antiques?
Certainly, it's a collector's item, ain't it?
Costello, you must study to be an ignoramus. You couldn't be any dumber if you were twins.
Oh, yes, I could. If I was twins, there'd be two of us, and we could help each other.
Costello, I don't know why I associate with you. I'm a college man, a fraternity man. See this? Phi Beta Kappa.
Ha-ha. Look at this.
What's that?
Half a can of tuna.
That trouble is, you're illiterate. You spend your spare time... Why don't you spend your spare time reading, Lou? Trying to improve your mind. Take me. I read a lot. There's nothing to improve your thinking like a bookcase well stacked.
Abbott, when I think of something well stacked, I ain't thinking of a bookcase.
Costello, man, would have to go a long way to meet a dope as stupid as you.
Oh, no, you wouldn't. I'm willing to travel.
The trouble with you is that you're an ignoramus. Do you know what an ignoramus is?
Sure, and I like his partner, too.
His partner?
Ain't you ever heard of Ignoramus and Andy?
No. That's a sample of your mentality. Costello, you ought to see a psychiatrist.
I went to one last week. He told me I got a split personality. I'm really two people, Abbott.
You've got enough personality to split with 10 people.
Just a minute. Don't laugh. Show me where it says that in the slip.
Never mind.
Now, watch out, Abbott. You're getting me mad. I can hardly hold my temper in.
It's kind of silly for you to hold your temper in when the rest of you is spread out all over the place.
Are we both on the same page?
I don't know. Certainly we are. The trouble with you is you can't read. You never went to school.
I just saw. I went to Colt Hill High School in Patterson, New Jersey.
Well, wait a minute. When did you go to high school?
September 11th, 1935.
You mean you only went one day?
You mean you're supposed to go back?
No wonder you're so stupid.
I can't help it, Abbott. I led a very sad life. When I was a kid, my father used to beat me over the head with a baseball bat. My mother used to beat me over the head with a baseball bat. My brother Pat used to hit me over the head with a baseball bat. My Uncle Mike used to hit me over the head with a baseball bat. My Uncle Jimmy Kelly used to hit me over the head with a baseball bat. My Uncle Tom Zismus used to hit me over the head with a baseball bat.
My goodness.
Everybody hit me over the head with a baseball bat.
That's terrible. That was a terrible family.
Yeah, but what a baseball team we had.
You must have been a pretty tough kid to stand all that abuse.
I was a pretty tough kid, Abbott. I belonged to the toughest gang in Patterson. We were so tough that when we walked down Main Street and Market Street, even the sewers backed up.
Did any of your old gang become successful, Lou?
Oh, yes, they did. Did you ever hear of Joe Buzzo?
Yes.
He went into business. He's making money hand over fist.
No, you mean hand over fist.
He's in the tire business, and in that business, it's hand over fist.
Lou, I remember Bozzo. I seem to remember him. Wasn't he the kid that got lost? Wasn't he the kid that got lost in the woods?
Yes, he was in the woods for 5 days, had nothing to eat but pine needles.
Pine needles?
Yep.
Did they have any bad effect on him?
Well, only when he got home, his mother made him a big dish of spaghetti in his stomach, knitted a pair of socks out of it.
Well, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Everybody in that gang, they all amounted to something but except you.
I'm doing all right, Abbott. Only yesterday, MGM called me up and wanted to use me in a screen test, but I turned them down.
You turned down a screen test? Why?
They wanted to throw me against it to see if it was strong.
You couldn't work for anybody. I ought to get rid of you myself and get myself another partner.
Who would work with you?
Oh, I could work with a cow. I could get lots of laughs.
How could you get a lot of laughs with a cow?
You'd be surprised at the things I could pull on her.
Hello, boys.
Hey, look, Costello, it's our secretary, Viola Vaughn.
Oh, I feel so good tonight.
Just a minute, Viola. I object the way you come in here every week and hug and kiss me.
I don't hug and kiss you.
I know, that's what I object to. Viola, you look lovely tonight. That's a beautiful dress you have on.
Do you like it? It's made of jersey.
Looks a little tight around Patterson.
It's supposed to be tight. It's a half and half dress. It's half cocktail and half dinner gown.
Which half are you wearing?
Never mind. Have you heard from your folks since you've been out here?
Oh, yes. I got a card this morning. They're driving out, and last night they stopped at a little place outside New Orleans called Howe's Bayou.
How's Bayou?
Fine. How's Bayou?
This keeps up, I'm going to turn my ice machine business.
What'd you say?
If this keeps up, I'm going to turn my ice machine business over to my brother Pat.
Well, pay no attention to Viola. He's just jealous.
I am not.
Well, Mr. Abbott is right, Costello. I can see right through you.
Well, it was a little warm today to wear a slip.
Costello, you're not fooling anybody. Viola's getting wise to you. Last week was her birthday, and you didn't even buy her a present.
Well, I didn't really expect any, Bud. I think Costello's the type that gets cheap around Christmas time.
Just a minute, Viola. That's a nasty thing to say. Costello gets cheap around Christmas time?
Thanks, Abbott.
Costello's just as cheap all the rest of the year.
If the Plasters Union is listening, have Bud Abbott's overalls ready in the morning. Abbott will be back on the job.
Cut it out, Costello. You're just jealous because Viola and I are more popular than you are.
You're popular?
Certainly. Have you noticed every week when I come to the broadcast, there's a mob outside that grabs me and asks me for my autograph?
Sure, but Abbott, I'm asking you. Do you think it's worth it?
What do you mean, is it worth it?
Listen up every Thursday like Dinah Shore.
You see, Viola? He is jealous of our popularity. Go ahead, Viola. Tell him how popular you are.
Well, I don't like to brag, Costello, but I was over at RKO yesterday and walked on a set, and Cary Grant kissed me 3 times.
So what? I was over at MGM yesterday. I bent over to tie my shoe, and Lassie licked my face.
Costello, have you been showing Viola around Hollywood the way you promised?
Sure, I took her to Republic Studios. All the cowboys were there. Didn't we have fun, Viola?
Oh, yes, Costello. It sure was funny when you ran in that dark closet to play post office, and that cowboy shoved his horse in with you.
His horse? This is terrible. I'll see you later.
Where are you going?
Oh, where am I going? I gotta go over to that corral and get back my fraternity pin. Ladies and gentlemen, Abbott and I heard a young singer in New York several weeks ago, and we liked him very much, and we brought him back to Hollywood to join our show, and here he is, and we hope you like him too, Hal Winters.
I'd love to get you on a slow boat to China, all to myself get you and keep you in my arms evermore. Leave all your lovers weeping on the faraway shore. Out on the briny with the moon big and shiny, melting your heart of stone. I'd love to get you on a slow boat to China, all to myself alone. There is no verse to this song, 'cause I don't want to wait a moment too long to say that I'd love to get you on a slow boat to China, all to myself alone. I'd love to get you on a slow boat to China, all to myself alone.
Now get out of here and stay out of here.
Rabbit, who hit you?
The sound man. I like to fool around with the sound effects. Every time I go over there and touch the stuff, he hits me.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Huh. You can't do that to my partner. Come on. We're going over there and we'll tell him. Now, there's the sound effects department, Abbott. Go ahead. Come on. Fool around with anything you like.
Thanks, Pat.
Blow the whistles. Anything.
Oh, boy, this is fun.
Make a train.
Yeah. So, you're fooling around with my stuff again, eh? Ow! Ow! That's all. What's he doing to me? He's going to say something?
I certainly am.
What?
Abbott, if you don't stop fooling with this guy's stuff, he's going to knock your brains out.
It's all my fault for listening to you. From now on, I'll take care of myself. I can stand up for my rights.
Why don't you stand up for your rights with that guy?
How could I? His lefts kept knocking me down.
Let's go back there, Rabbit. Somebody's writing this wrong. Let's go back there, Rabbit. I'll take care of you. I'm plenty tough. Here, feel my muscle. Go ahead and feel it.
Muscle? I can't feel anything but a red corpuscle.
Yeah, but ain't it got a hard head?
Who are you kidding? I'm the guy's got muscle. I used to be a prize fighter. I was one of the cleanest fighters in the ring.
You should have. You should have been. They threw enough water on you. I'm the guy that can fight. I remember the last guy I fought. I hit him so hard that he hollered uncle.
Well, who were you fighting with?
My little 3-year-old nephew, Tony.
I thought so. You can't fight and you can't act. In fact, none of your family has any talent.
Just a minute.
Yeah.
How about my cousin Vincent? He had a great voice, but he could only sing while taking a bath. They used to wheel him out on the stage in a bathtub. He'd sing while taking a bath, but they fired him after his first performance.
Why?
When the people started applauding, he forgot himself and stood up and took a bow.
What is he doing now?
Writing songs. You should hear his new song. He took a little of it from Irving Berlin, a little from Cole Porter, a little from Sigmund Rundberg.
What did he get?
3 lawsuits.
Forget about your cousin. Wait a minute. What's all that mail doing in your pockets?
Abbott, that's my fan mail. Everybody in the country is talking about my great character, Sam Shovel. Here, I'll read one. Dear Lou Costello, I'm simply crazy about your Sam Shovel detective programs. Last week, as I sat listening to your show, you were so thrilling I froze to my seat. I'm coming over tonight to see you.
There's a guy out here to see you, Costello.
What does he look like?
He's a short man with a frozen seat.
Come on, Costello. Let's get on with the show. What is your Sam Shovel case for tonight?
It's one of my smaller cases, Abbott. I call it the case of the sailor who was shot while having Hedy Lamarr and Lana Turner's pictures on his chest, or he died with his buttes on.
Sounds interesting. Let's do it.
Okay.
And now the makers of Crummies, the breakfast food that dares to be different, presents The Adventures of Sam Shovel, Private Detective. But first, a word about our product, Crummies. Crummies is the only breakfast food that comes ready to serve. We put in the sugar, strawberries, milk, and cream right into the package. Look for it on your grocer's shelf in the large, soggy box. And Crummies is fine for the youngsters. You can safely feed Crummies to a 2-year-old. Some of the well-known 2-year-olds that eat Crummies are Citation, Entrust, and Bazooka. Crummies is the only breakfast food that is shot from cannon. So remember, when opening the package, stand back. And friends, mark my words. No cereal is as good as Crummies. You can put that in your pipe and smoke it. In fact, it tastes better if you put it in your pipe and smoke it. And now for the further adventures of Sam Shovel, Private Detective.
Yes, I'm Sam Shovel. Sam Shovel, Private Detective. I don't feel so good today. Last night my fraternity invited me to a football dinner. That's the last time I'll eat football for dinner. I'm kind of tired, too. I traveled all night. I rode the chief in from Albuquerque. Next time I'm going to take a train. Riding piggyback on an Indian is murder. I was down there trying to get a conviction on one of my cases, Maxie the murderer. But he had a clever lawyer. I charged him with murder, but the jury whitewashed him. I charged him with larceny, but the jury whitewashed him. Then I took him to a Turkish bath. I had to get all that whitewash off him. My correspondence was piled up a lot while I was away. I see a carbon copy of the letter I sent to Sears and Roebuck for a pair of handcuffs. It reads, send handcuffs. If good, we'll send check. Then I pick up their answer. It reads, send check. If good, we'll send handcuffs. That reminds me I may get called on another case. I think I'll clean my Remington before I put it back in my pocket. Someday I'm going to buy a gun. I get tired carrying a typewriter in my pocket. Suddenly I look up. There on the wall of my office is an oil painting. Bought it last year. It's pretty. But it's a lot of trouble. Every day I got to oil it. I glance across the court. The beautiful stenographer in the insurance office is just coming to work. She's punching the time clock. The clock punched her back. I pick up my morning paper. On the front page is a picture of John L. Lewis. John L. Lewis on the front page. I study his face. I'm trying to figure which eyebrow has the Tony. Looks like another slow day for the detective business. As I sit here in my little office, I'm unhappy. I'm down in the dumps. Whenever I'm in this office, I feel down in the dumps. That's not strange. My office is located at the dumps. Across from my office is a stationery store. There's no sign on it, but I'm sure it's a stationery store. I've been watching it for 2 years. It hasn't moved an inch. I just remember last week my pal, Lieutenant Abbott, invited me to dinner, and I must send his wife a bread and butter note. That's a sloppy job. There's nothing I hate worse than writing on bread and butter. I glance out at the window in the parking lot. They're getting ready to move my car again to let another one out. I hope the owner moves it, not the reckless attendant. Thank goodness the owner moved it. I noticed my pal, Lieutenant Abbott, in the homicide squad coming this way. He's a regular bloodhound. When he's after a crook, he can smell a trail. In fact, he smells any place. One thing about Lieutenant Abbott, he speaks straight from the shoulder. He's got to. That's where his mouth is. Just then, Lieutenant Abbott walks into the office.
Hello, Sam Shovel. Sam, I just had the most sensational lunch. What a meal. I ordered pork chops, bacon, fried ham, pig's knuckles.
When Lieutenant Abbott eats, he goes hog wild.
Well, a cop has got to keep his strength up, Sam. I never know when I'll get in a fight.
Lieutenant Abbott is right. One thing I'll say for him, he never ran away from a fight. He always takes a taxi.
Sam, I'm happy today. I'm feeling pretty chipper. I'm really chipper.
Lieutenant Abbott is not lying. Nobody is chipper than he is. He's the chippest man I ever met. He lives at the Fiddle Hotel. It's a violin. Rooms are $1 a night and up. If you get a room for $1, you're up all night.
Sam, I thought I heard something moving. The sound came from that bureau.
We crossed the office to the bureau and started opening the drawers.
You won't find me here.
It's my Bureau of Missing Persons.
Speaking of missing persons, Sam, what happened to that crooked musician you were trailing?
Lieutenant Abbott was referring to Matty Banjo Head Malnick, the leader of one of the crookedest bands in this country.
Sam, how can you say that? Matty's boys are all artists.
They must be artists. I know they're not musicians. Lieutenant, when Matty Banjo Head Malnick heard I was after him, he took it on the lam. That was 3 weeks ago.
Hiya, Sam Shovel.
He's still on that lam.
Sam, you gotta help me. That Bergman gang is trying to shake me down for $10,000. And I'm afraid I'll have to pay through the nose.
Why should you have to pay through the nose?
That's where I keep my money.
What a clever crook that Malnick is. When he needs money, he don't have to blow a safe. He just blows his nose. Just look at it. I'd like to have his nose full of Canadian nickels.
Malnick, you'll have to get out of here. Sam and I are talking business.
I'll go, but first I want to give Sam this batch of cookies I baked for him. Here, Sam, they're your favorite kind, policeman cookies.
Policeman cookies?
Sure, ain't you never heard of cop cakes? So long, copper.
Everybody's got good riders but me. I'm going to have to start paying next week. That Malnick is a very clever boy. He ought to go over to the Eagle Laundry and put his head in with the flat work.
Well, never mind him, Sam. Hey, look who's coming across the street. It's Two Gun Gertie.
Two Gun Gertie, that gorgeous gun moll. Once I asked her to marry me, but she refused. She's too class conscious.
Gertie is class conscious?
I ain't got no class, and she's conscious of it. Just as I finished making this clever remark, the door burst open, and Gertie entered my office.
Sam Shovel, my darling. Oh, Sam, you gotta help me.
What's up, Gert?
The cops are after me. They think I'm hiding something. They think I've got it on me.
You may have it on you, but you sure ain't hiding anything.
Careful, Sam. She's up to something.
Oh, Sam, you gotta help me. If you do, I'll be your slave. I'll cook for you. I'll bake for you. I'll sew for you.
Keep going, Gert. You're bound to hit something I like.
You're a card, Sam. Come here. I'm gonna let you kiss me.
Sam Shovel, where are your manners? Where are your manners? How dare you kiss this gun moll right before me?
Wait your turn, Lieutenant. I'll kiss you next.
Sam, why don't we start going steady again? We could be so happy. Look out the window, Sam. See those two lovebirds in that tree?
Yes.
Why can't we be like them and do what they're doing?
Okay, but I don't think the branches will hold us.
Sam, this is ridiculous. You're a cop and she's a crook. She's not for you.
Keep out of this, Flatfoot. I'll prove to Sam that I'm the girl for him. I'll give him a kiss that'll bust the buttons off his vest.
That I'd like to see.
Come here, Sam.
Sam Shovel, say something.
Has any lady in the audience got a needle and a thread?
Costello. We're a little late, so you better say thanks to this lovely audience in the studio and to all the swell people who are listening at home.
Thanks for listening, folks. And I would like to thank the people that help us bring you this show every Thursday night. Our writing staff is headed by Eddie Foreman with Paul Conlon, Pat Costello, Martin Ragaway, and Leonard Stern.
And thanks to Matty Malnick and all his boys and our vocalist, Hal Winters.
And thanks also to our producer, Charles Vander. We'll be back again at the same time next Thursday.
Good night, folks.
Good night, everybody in Patterson. Good night!
Listen each Thursday night at this time for another great Abbott and Costello show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood. Be sure to stay tuned for the outstanding entertainment which follows throughout the evening on this ABC station.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Detective.
Very funny. Certainly took you long enough.
Oh, thank you, Sam. Well, do you like them? The girls?
I guess so. It's your own hair, I trust.
Oh, yes, Sam. When it's brushed out, you'll never know anything happened.
Whenever you're ready, Curly.
Oh, gee, you like it that well?
Yeah, very cute.
Well.
It's a business. To Detective Lieutenant Dundee, Homicide Detail, San Francisco Police, from Samuel Spade, license number 137596, subject the Bouncing Bety caper. Yeah, Dundee. It all began on a Wednesday. My secretary, Miss Effie Perrine, tiptoed into my office and laid an engraved calling card on the desk in front of me. The name on it was Randall Carruthers. She said he looked like money, so I said, show her in. Or him in. She did.
Good morning, sir. Do you wish the morning paper?
Thanks, I've read it.
Dear me.
What's the matter?
This ashtray, sir. Have you a silent butler?
I don't even have a noisy one.
Oh. In all my years of service, it has been my constant endeavor to keep things neat and tidy, down to the smallest details.
I see. Well, if it bothers you, just dump those butts into the wastebasket.
Very well, sir. If you will pardon the presumption, sir, you could use a well-trained servant in this establishment. Waste paper baskets clean and empty at all times. Never allow refuse to accumulate.
That's not refuse. That's this month's bills.
So I noticed, sir. I also noticed that you have not opened them. From this, I conclude that your services are immediately available.
Yeah, and I conclude that in spite of your glad rags and fancy handle, you are somebody's butler.
Oh, that is correct, sir. I am first butler in the household of Dr. Mark McGraw.
First?
Bleakcliff is the name of the estate. It's near the village of Squid Beach, some 50 miles in a southerly direction on the Pacific coast.
You know, I think I'm going to like you as a client, Mr. Carruthers. I mean, it's refreshing to get a few accurate facts without, shall we say, priming the pump.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
To continue, not counting the staff, there reside at Bleakcliff 3 persons. Dr. McGraw, master of the house since the death of his wife, his stepson, Mr. Anthony McGraw, of whom more later, and Mr. Anthony's sister, Miss Cathy. It is on her behalf that I've come to you, sir.
What is her problem, Mr. Carruthers?
The correct form of address is Carruthers, sir, not Mr. Carruthers.
Check.
Yes, thank you, sir. Now, as to Miss Cathy's problem, sir, someone is attempting to murder her. Specifically, she has upon several occasions been shot at from ambush. Twice she has awakened in the night to feel the hands of an assailant closing about her throat. And only yesterday, she narrowly escaped death when her motor car went out of control owing to some blackguard tampering with the steering mechanism. And upon numerous other occasions...
That's enough. You have convinced me that she indeed has a problem. What do the local police think?
No one has been to the police, sir.
Why not?
It's a delicate situation, sir. Miss Cathy's brother, Mr. Tony, is undergoing treatment for nervous disorders.
Mm-hmm.
The family did not wish to place him in an institution, and since Dr. McGraw, his stepfather, is a psychiatrist, he is allowed to remain at home.
I see. He's flipped. Where do I fit in, Carruthers?
Well, sir, if a reputable gentleman such as yourself were to come to Bleakcliff, and witness these persistent attempts upon that girl's life, perhaps they could be forced to put the boy away where he belongs.
It's possible. I'm willing to try. For money.
Oh, splendid, sir, splendid. I took the liberty of drawing, in your favor, a draft upon the First National Bank of Squid Bay, 1 week's remuneration in advance of your services to the Bleakcliff estate in the capacity of chauffeur.
Chauffeur?
Yes, sir. I thought that might be a capital disguise. Have you a better suggestion, sir?
Well, no, that's okay. This check.
Yes, sir.
$200. It's a pretty big weekly salary for a chauffeur, isn't it?
Well, you will be allowed to shop for the vegetables, sir. Your cut has been added in.
I told them I didn't know one vegetable from another, that I was a lousy driver, and in more time than it takes to tell, I was installed at Bleakcliff in a room above the garage and told to wait there until summoned. I put on my pearl gray uniform with the brass buttons and leather puttees, looked in the mirror, and decided I had missed my calling, but not by much. Nothing happened for nearly an hour, and then I got my first buzz. Yeah, I mean, garage.
Phillips, the car, quickly. The main entrance. Keep your motor running. I have him locked in the living room and he's breaking up.
Okay. Yes, miss. Let me see.
Get that door open. Open that door. Why didn't you have the door open?
I'm sorry, miss.
Well, get going, please.
Darn it, miss. Where's the spark on this?
What's the matter with it?
Well, it's flooded. The house, you know.
He's got the meat cleaver again. Tell me it's distorted.
Well, I'm trying.
Get out, I tell you! Now, stop it! You're hurting him.
All right. Put it down, kid. Put it down. Come on. Give it to me.
What's going on? I say, who are you? Haven't you been instructed not to disturb my patient?
I'm sorry. I'm new here. When I saw him coming at Miss McGraw with that meat cleaver, I naturally thought...
Oh, well, no harm done. Come along, Tony. Come along now. Come along, boy. We'll have a nice long talk. What shall I do with it now? We'll put it back in it.
You all right?
Oh, sure. I should be used to it by now. By the way, you're new here, aren't you? What's your name?
Sam.
Sam? That's nice. Turn to the left outside the gate, Sam, and drive straight out to the shore road.
Well, if I can just... Hey, I just turned that little key. Look, Ma, I'm driving. I adjusted the rear view mirror so that it showed more of her and less of the rear view. A mile from the house, she ordered me to stop, moved up to the front seat with me, and asked me to drive on. By the time we got to the shore road, she was driving, and I was resting my head on her shoulder. Where are we going?
I've got a little hideaway down the coast. It's right on the beach, at the foot of a tall cliff. There's a fireplace, a little bar, some records.
Got some vodka?
It's wonderful there with the surf pounding outside, hidden away from the world. You feel so safe.
Don't stop.
You'll like it there. You feel as if there's no one else on earth. Time standing still.
Oh, if I could just be sure that Mother wouldn't worry about me.
You're impossible.
Okay, Kathy, I'll be serious. What's with that brother of yours?
Tony? I'd rather not talk about that if you don't mind.
Well, maybe I can talk about your stepfather. I really should know what kind of a man my boss is.
I go for these drives to forget all that. Please don't spoil it for me.
Okay, Kathy, okay.
Please. The sharp turn into this driveway. Now, we get out here.
Yes, ma'am.
Down this path.
Uh-oh.
What's the matter? You afraid of high places?
Yeah, you just pushed me off of one.
Oh, Sam, don't be like that. You're pouting like a little boy. Come on, I want to show you my little house.
What's so special about your little house?
Oh, Sam, if you only knew what my life is like.
You only knew what mine is like.
I need someone so much to talk to, Sam.
As long as you can steer the conversation, you mean.
Come on, Sam. I'll show you the house.
The path led to a flight of wooden steps that clung to the face of a sheer cliff. There was something like the stairs you find yourself falling down in nightmares. They dropped maybe 200 feet to a crescent of white sand.
Watch out for that one step. It's broken.
Yeah. You have to make your dream house this hard to get to?
Because of Tony. He has vertigo.
What?
When we were kids, he used to chase me, and I'd run down here, and he was scared to follow me. Afraid of heights. He still is.
Oh.
Well, you light us a fire, Sam. The wood's there in the box. I'll go make us a drink.
Fire? Who needs a fire? I'm hot.
What'd you do before you took up driving?
Oh, I was a private eye for a while.
Oh, how exciting.
Nah, it's a sour racket.
Tell me about it.
Nah. Let's talk about you.
Here's your drink.
Thanks.
Well, what do you want to know about me?
Oh, me? Come here. The scent she was wearing was 20 carat, but the story of her life was heavy melodrama. It seemed that Dr. McGraw, a handsome fortune hunter, was a folly of her mother's middle years, but she had come to her senses shortly before she died and cut him out of her will. But that was not the end of it. When Kathy's brother had been faced with the alternative of entering an institution or remaining at home under his stepfather's care, she had begged the doctor to remain in spite of his warnings that her brother might take a notion to kill her. But get this, Dundee, it's real deep. In spite of visible evidence to the contrary, she was convinced that her brother was not out to kill her, but that the doctor was. I couldn't sell myself on that part of the yarn, but she looked so awfully pretty while she was telling it. And suddenly, she didn't look so pretty. An expression of terror was on her face.
No!
Get down! I rolled her onto the floor and kicked the lamp out. By the glow of the embers in the fireplace, I could still see the gleam of the gun barrel shoved in through the broken window. I hoped he couldn't see so much. I knocked over a chair to give him something to shoot at. He was already halfway up the face of the cliff in those rickety wooden stairs. At the top, he turned and looked back.
Who was it? It was Mark, wasn't it?
The doctor? You know better than that. It was Tony. I thought you told me he was afraid of heights, couldn't come down those stairs.
He never did before. Don't you believe me?
Yeah, Kathy. I may wind up believing the rest of your story. I took Kathy back to Bleak Cliff and stashed her in my quarters over the garage. Then I went into the main house via the back stairs, found her room, and shook it down. In a cabinet, a bunch of war souvenirs, German helmets, grenades, rifles, and other lethal gadgets. In a desk drawer, I found a letter headed U.S. Army, Office of the Surgeon General. It certified that one Anthony McGraw was unfit for military service. Vertigo. Origin, childhood injury to middle ear. Downstairs in the library, I found a shelf of medical books. Vertigo. Vertigo was almost incurable, and there was certainly no quick cure. But some patients had lost their symptoms temporarily under hypnotism. Then it said, see narcosynthesis. I did.
Spade. I beg pardon, sir. Mr. Spade. Whatever are you doing in the butler's pantry, sir?
Looking for a butler. Namely you, Carruthers.
May I serve you, sir?
Yeah. How do I get an interview with Dr. McGraw?
Well, sir, I should... Oh. Strange, after all my years of service, I still start as a master summons. Hey.
You did it again.
Well, I'm sorry, sir. I'd better see what Dr. McGraw wants.
Forget it. I'm answering this one.
You're not going to drop your disguise, sir.
Why not? Who am I kidding, anyway? You rang, Dr. McGraw?
Oh, I didn't ring for you. I rang for Carruthers. I ordered him to tidy up my office while I was at dinner. And look at it.
Looks neat as a pin to me, Doctor.
Oh, yeah, sure new here. Chauffeur, eh?
I'm only wearing his uniform. Here's my card.
Oh. Detective, eh?
That's right, Doctor, and this one's just about ready to wrap up.
Well, you interest me. Go on.
I will. I think you've been trying to use that boy as a murder weapon against his sister.
Oh. And you call yourself a detective?
If you can call yourself a doctor, I guess I can. You've been treating him with narcosynthesis, haven't you?
That's right.
Hypnotic drug. While he's under it, you brief him on his activities for the day, and he follows through, including assaults with deadly weapons.
That would be possible with certain very suggestible patients, but I'm afraid impossible to prove.
I think I can prove it, Doctor. You shouldn't leave your textbooks lying around loose. I found out the only way Tony could have walked down that stairway to Kathy's beach house without falling would be temporary relief of his symptoms due to hypnotic suggestion. Unquote.
I see. What do you intend to do about this theory of yours?
What do you suggest?
You see this row of buzzers here on my desk?
Mm-hmm.
This one is for my secretary. This is to summon Carruthers, and when I press this buzzer, two of the most hideous plug uglies you've ever seen will rush into this office, beat you to a pulp, and dump you outside the front gate. That's what I think of your theory.
Buzz away, Doctor. I think I like them better than I do you.
As you wish.
From where I was on the other side of the room, I didn't know what had happened at first. All I saw was a lot of paper gushing out of the wastebasket. The doctor sure was dead. His midsection was perforated like a shower drain. And in the wall, spanning out around the end of the room, about a yard up from the baseboard, there was a straight line of holes. I dug into one. What I took out wasn't a bullet. It was a perfectly round steel ball. Then I remembered the wastebasket, the paper flying out of it just before the explosion. In the bottom of it, I found the answer. The base of a steel mechanism with German lettering on it. It was a wartime anti-personnel mine that the GIs called the Bouncing Bety.
The United States Armed Forces Radio Service is presenting the weekly adventure of Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, Sam Spade.
I didn't wait for the Squid Beach law to arrive. Who could? I went straight back to San Francisco. You, Lieutenant Dundee, were waiting at my office.
Morning, Sam.
Hello, Dundee.
About that McGraw killing, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
The chief down at Skid Beach has asked us to cooperate with the department down there at Skid Beach.
Squid Beach, Dundee.
That's right. They say you caught a bus at Skid Beach.
Squid.
That's right. At 1:45 in the company of a young woman answering the description of the McGraw girl.
Uh-huh. They say that, do they?
They say they got a statement from that butler,
Carruthers.
Well, it's open and shut anyway. The butler hired you, the girl is wanted, and you're hiding her out. Why?
Why not?
Well, it's established that the girl hated the deceased and bickered with him constantly. The doctor and the boy were pals. That girl's guilty.
You've been able to place her in the murder room?
Well, no, but here's an item. She worked with an Army ordnance during the war in research. Subject? I made a note of that. Enemy landmines, anti-personnel. One of the reports she helped put out was on the Bouncing Bety.
Yeah?
Definitely. Hey, where are you going, Sam?
Sam, it's been so lonesome cooped up here all day.
Why didn't you tell me you were with Army ordnance during the war?
I don't know. I suppose I thought it was unfeminine or something.
Try again.
All right, I'll tell you the truth. I had a copy of that report with instructions for the operation of the Bouncing Bety in the desk in my room.
What the devil are you doing with a thing like that?
I don't know. I was proud of it. It was the only report I worked on with the general.
Should have got rid of it.
I did. I burned it in the fireplace as soon as I learned what had killed him.
You didn't burn it good enough.
Sam, they found it.
Yeah.
Have they arrested Tony?
Not yet, but he's definitely sane. He'll have to take the rap for anything he's done.
I see. Well, I guess there's no other way. Tony didn't do it, Sam. I did. I want to make a confession.
Not to me, please. Not to me.
After what happened down at the beach when I knew I was no longer safe anywhere, I realized I had to do it. For Tony's sake as well as mine. When we arrived back at the house, I looked into the dining room and I saw Dr. McGraw eating dinner. I knew it was my chance to get into his office.
Yeah? Then what?
Well, the Bouncing Bety was in my room. There was some wire in the tool chest, and I knew that Carruthers always went to tidy up while the doctor was at dinner. So I waited until I saw him come out, and then I went in. And I looked around for a place to plant it, out of sight. Then I saw the wastebasket full of papers. It was the perfect hiding place. The whole thing didn't take more than 5 minutes. Well, say something.
I guess I don't know what to say.
Go on, say you hate me. Say it.
I don't. Wish I did.
Oh, Sam. Help me. Help me.
I'm sorry, baby. I am sorry. I don't know how long we sat there. I held her in my arms until she cried herself out, then we just looked at each other. I knew if I put it off another minute, I wouldn't call you at all, Dundee. So with my arms still around her, I reached for the phone.
Homicide.
Lieutenant Dundee, this is Sam Spade.
Lieutenant Dundee. Hello. Hello.
Give me that. Lieutenant, this is Catherine McGraw. I wish to make a full confession in the murder of my stepmother.
I walked out while she was still talking to you, Dundee. I knew she'd wait for you, and I didn't want to be there when you took her away. As I walked over to my office, everything she'd said kept coming back to me. I could see her sneaking into her brother's room and getting her contraption out of the cabinet. I could see her hiding behind the door until Carruthers came out after tidying up McGraw's office, dumping ashtrays, emptying wastebaskets. And that's as far as I got. I went back to my office to wait. And sure enough, 20 minutes after the papers hit the streets with Kathy's confession, the door opened and he came in.
Well, sir, I believe it's turning a bit raw out of doors. Gardner was saying only this morning that we should order out some shrouds for the Sapiglosa Sinua, sir. Am I discommoding you, sir?
No, Carruthers, I've been waiting for you.
With your permission, sir. The ashtray?
Just dump it in the wastebasket.
I am gratified to note that your secretary has been looking after things and has emptied your waste paper basket. This is right and proper.
Quite.
Yes, sir. And, speaking of waste paper baskets...
Allow me, Carruthers. You have come to apprise me of your part in the death of the late Dr. McGraw. Am I in error?
You've already divined my purpose, sir. Yes, it was I who placed that infernal machine.
In the wastebasket, Carruthers, yes, I know.
It struck me as a bit of poetic justice that the buzzer, which that dreadful man used as a symbol of his despotism, should be the instrument of his own destruction.
I'm sorry, Carruthers. I'll do all I can.
No need, sir. No need. I'm aware that there is no final justification for taking the law into one's own hands. Every man is entitled to trial by jury of his peers. But where, Mr. Spade, where could be found 12 good men and true who would allow themselves to be called the peer of that monster, Dr. McGraw?
Period. End of report.
Sam! There must be some mistake.
Mistake, Effie? Mistake? No?
Well, the butler can't be guilty. That's old-fashioned.
He was an old-fashioned butler, sweetheart. Where today can you get help like that? Somebody who empties the ashtrays, keeps the waste paper baskets clean, tidies up around the place.
Well, I'd be only too happy to do the same for you, Sam.
I know you would, doll.
But considering what happened to Mr. Carruthers' employer,
Effie, you mustn't allow your mind to dwell on such matters. It's wicked.
Sam! Who emptied an ashtray in that wastebasket that I just finished cleaning out?
Pay it no heed, sweetheart. I'll buy you a silent butler. I'll go type that up.
Here it is, Sam. I hope I haven't made any mistakes. I'm in such a hurry.
Whatever did you do to your hair?
Well, I brushed it out, Sam.
What happened to the pen curls?
I told you, Sam, when it was brushed out, it wouldn't be noticeable.
Hours of torture sitting under a hot dryer for something nobody will notice.
But, Sam, it puts bounce in your whole makeup.
I get it. The Bouncing Bety capelet.
Oh.
Eyeshadow, new shade of lipstick. You look real gone.
Oh, no.
Whom is it tonight?
Well, it's a friend of Maud, Sam. Of course, she's not really serious about him, so it's all right.
Your conscience bothering you?
Oh, no, Sam, no. He's definitely not serious about her. I mean,
Well, have fun, sweetheart, while Maud burns.
Oh, well, she won't. And I suppose you'll be seeing that girl, what was her name? Oh, yes, Kathy.
Well, at least, F, I'm not playing in someone else's garden.
No. Well, have fun anyway. Good night, Sam.
Good night, sweetheart.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, are produced and directed by William Spear. Sam Spade is played by Howard Dove. Lorene Tuttle is Effie.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Private Detective, is a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.
It's time for the Abbott and Costello Show. We're on the air for ABC here in Hollywood.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go with the Abbott and Costello Show.
Yes, it's the Abbott and Costello Show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood for your listening and laughing pleasure with chuckles with a carload and music by Matty Malnick. So hold on to your chairs, folks, for here they are, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
All right, Costello. All right, Costello.
Like I've never loved.
Wait a minute. What's the idea of coming in here singing?
I'm going to sing on a program tonight.
What do you know about music? You wouldn't know a bass from a soprano.
Is that so? You wouldn't see me sliding in a second soprano, would you? And besides, my new girl wants me to sing on the program.
You've got a new girl?
Yes, every night she knocks on my door, throws her arms around me, hugs and kisses me, and calls me Gregory Peck.
She calls you Gregory Peck?
Gregory Peck.
Why didn't you tell her you're not Gregory Peck?
Silly boy.
What does this girl do, Lou?
She's a striptease dancer at the burlesque show. I wait for her every night outside the stage door.
Does she meet you?
No, but she waves to me from the patrol wagon as it goes by.
Sam, I used to chase girls like you, and I never got anywhere. And one day I decided life wasn't worth living. I tried to shoot myself, and somebody stopped me. I tried to hang myself, and somebody stopped me.
Too bad.
I tried to drown myself, and somebody stopped me.
Some people never know when to mind their own business.
Well, all I have to say to you, Costello, is adios.
Adios.
Yes, that's goodbye in Spanish.
Well, Los Angeles traffic.
Los Angeles traffic.
That's goodbye in any language.
Hey, wait a minute, boys. Here's a serious-looking fella trying to get a word in edgewise. Let's see what he has to say.
Hollering about this time.
I've been chosen a man of distinction by the Boy Scouts of America. And my picture is going to be in all the magazines.
What picture?
There it is. It's a picture of me leaning up against my scoutmaster, drinking a glass of buttermilk.
You must be pretty popular with your Boy Scout troop.
Yes, sir. I'm the only Boy Scout in California that's got a hot rod.
Yeah, you don't even know what a hot rod is.
Oh, yes, I do. A hot rod is a jalopy that smokes Mexican cigarettes.
You idiot. You running around with a bunch of kids at your age? There must be something wrong with you. What's the matter with you anyway?
Can't figure it out, Abbott. I sleep good at night. I sleep good in the morning.
But during the day, I just seem to twist and turn.
No wonder nobody will associate with you. You haven't got a friend in the world.
How can you say that, Abbott? I'm the most popular guy in my hometown. Every one of the 300,000 people in Patterson, New Jersey love me.
Wait a minute, Costello. 300,000. Patterson only has 140,000 people.
When were you there last?
2 years ago.
Well, people have children, you know.
You please talk sense. What's that roll of paper you've got in your pocket?
That's my Christmas shopping list, and you're right on the top.
Oh, say, that's wonderful. What are you going to get me, Lou?
I'm going to get you a handful of nickels and dimes and put them in your mouth.
What do you want to give me a handful of nickels and dimes to put in my mouth?
I'd like to hear some change in your conversation.
Never mind. Who else is on your list?
Well, there's my Uncle Mike. I don't know what to get him. Last year I got him a smoking jacket.
Did he like it?
Oh, sure. Christmas morning he stuffed it into his pipe.
Didn't it burn?
Yeah, but not as good as tobacco. I think I'll get my Aunt May one of those old man river girdles.
What's an old man river girdle?
It helps you tote that barge and lift that bale. I'll either get that or I'll get a book, a volume by O. Henry.
Oh, a volume?
Yeah.
Oh, Henry only wrote short stories.
How much can you write on a wrapper off a candy bar?
What is Uncle Mike going to get Aunt May, Lou?
I don't know. Last year he gave her a fur piece. He shot it under the house. Had a white stripe down its back.
That was a skunk.
Huh?
That was a skunk. Why did Uncle Mike shoot it?
After he shot it, he asked himself the same question.
Wait a minute now. After all, skunk is pretty expensive. If your Uncle Mike had to buy it, he would have had to sell his house to pay for it.
After he shot it, he had to sell the house anyway.
My wife wants a mink coat for Christmas, but mink skins cost $40 apiece.
Why don't you just buy her one skin and a sock stretcher?
Costello, that's ridiculous. My wife's one of the most beautiful women in Hollywood. Every time I look at her, she reminds me of Jane Russell.
Me too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What makes her remind you of Jane Russell?
She's got legs like Bob Waterfield.
When my wife puts on an evening gown, she looks like she was poured in it.
You're right, Abbott. She looks like she was poured in it and forgot to say when.
Is that so? My wife was a picture star a few years ago, you know. Her last picture was the Great Forest Fire. She was the siren.
I saw that picture. She nearly fell off the truck 3 times.
Costello, my wife is one of the most popular girls in this town. Why, I only won her on account of my great romantic ability.
You've got romantic ability?
Certainly. When I put my arms around a girl and kiss her, her eyes close and she faints dead away.
Yeah, but I used to be able to do the same thing, only lately garlic doesn't agree with me.
Tell me, Costello, how's your romance coming with that rich girl from Pasadena?
She wasn't serious, Abbott. I found out it was nothing but puppy love on her part.
When did she break the engagement?
When she found out I wasn't a puppy.
You should have hung on to her, Costello. Her family were very wealthy. Their home has 20 bathrooms.
Their home has 20 bathrooms?
That's right.
No wonder they call them the filthy rich. You know, she was a nice girl, Abbott, but there was only one thing wrong with her. She had $1 million smile.
Well, what's wrong with that?
She'd only smile at guys that had $1 million.
Well, now that you've broken off with her, why don't you make a play for my younger sister, Babe?
Your sister, Babe? Mm-hmm. Don't tell me she's out here in California now.
Sure, she's always wanted to come out here to the West where men are men and women are women.
Yes, out here in the West where men are men and women are women. And now your sister, Babe, has to come out here and confuse the whole thing.
Costello, my sister Babe may be fat, but remember, she's a slick chick.
She's slick, all right. The last time I had a date with her, I'd been over to kiss her goodnight and her hair slid off.
Are you trying to insinuate that my sister Babe is bald?
I wouldn't say that, Abbott. She's got one of those new, sunny, tough hairdos.
Sunny, tough hairdos?
Yeah, it's sunny down the middle and there's a tough on each side.
Costello.
Now it's Abbott's nephew, folks. Now what do you want, Norman?
Well, I'm on the committee for the Rose Bowl parade, and we want you to ride on one of those big rose-covered floats on New Year's Day.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, but I've got to tell you something. There's one restriction. You can't tell any of the jokes you tell on the radio while you're riding on the float.
And why not?
We want the people to smell the roses.
That did it. I can't stand this any longer. Every week the same thing.
Oh, now wait a minute,
And
Costello.
he gets money for it.
What are you going to do?
Huh?
What are you going to do?
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Norman, this studio isn't big enough for the two of us. Now, here, you take this gun and I'll take this gun. And we'll shoot at each other until one of us is dead.
Okay. You want to bet a quarter I win?
Bet a quarter? What for?
I just thought you might want to make it exciting.
Look, why don't you go over to the Rolly cigarette program and have your head moisturized? Wait a minute. Now, get out of here. Hey, Adams, why don't you get that guy a job and keep him out of here?
He just comes in there for laughs. He's got a job. He's a salesman.
Are you kidding? That guy couldn't sell anything.
Right now, he's working in the drugstore, and they're having a 1-cent sale.
What's he selling?
Pennies.
Pennies? Cucamonga 32, Pomona 31, San Fernando above 32, Riverside 28.
Wait a minute, Costello. What are you doing?
Figured as long as I ain't getting any laughs, I just might as well read the frost warnings.
That's no attitude to take. After all, Costello, this is Christmas time. Don't you feel the spirit of Christmas?
Yes, I guess you're right, Abbott. I feel like helping everybody. I've got nothing but good in my heart. See that old man over there? The one with the beard and the patches on his pants?
Yes.
I'll show you I got the spirit of Christmas. I'm going over there and help that old man out.
That's the spirit, Costello.
Hiya, buddy. Did I talk to you for a minute?
Oh, what do you want?
Well, I don't want to be forward, and this being Christmas, you know, I'm Lou Costello, the actor. I thought that maybe you'd, sort of, well...
Well, here's a dime. Get lost.
Santa Paula 32, Ventura 29, and 30.
Hello, boys.
Hey, look, Costello, it's our secretary, Viola Vaughn.
Hey.
I called you last night, Viola, and you weren't home.
No, I was over at Costello's house practicing love scenes with him.
You were practicing love scenes with Costello?
Uh-huh.
He's so short he doesn't even come up to your shoulders. How can he make love to you?
Well, I stand him on a box, put my arms around him tight, kick the box out from under him, and I've got him trapped.
Oh, high 29, tipped in above 32. Holla 31. Well, I'll leave you two. Cheerio, so long, Pip Pip and Hetty Lamar.
Pip Pip and Hetty Lamar.
Yeah, that's 3 pips.
Hey, where are you going, Costello?
I gotta go home now and take care of my brother Pat. You know, he's in that awkward age, you know.
Awkward age?
Yeah, he's too young to leave home alone and too old to trust with babies with us.
Why waste your time with your brother Pat? Why don't you take Viola to the movies?
Oh, no, I'm not going to go to the movies with Costello after what happened the last time.
What happened?
Viola and I were holding hands, but we had to let go because we were tripping too many people.
You were tripping people?
Yeah, she was sitting across the aisle from me.
Now do you see why I won't go to the movies with him?
You don't have to go with me, Viola. I can get plenty of girls. Only tonight coming down here, Ann Sheridan says, "Hiya, Lou."
When did you ever meet Ann Sheridan?
I've seen her so many times on a screen, she thinks she knows me.
Are you kidding? You don't know anybody in pictures.
I don't, Here comes Alan Ladd. I'll show you who my pals are. Hi, Alan.
Hiya, Mac. Mac? Mac? I thought he was your pal.
He's a little...
Why did you call you Mac?
He's a little nearsighted. He thought I was Fred McMurray.
Well, so long, Costello. And remember... If you want to, you can come over to my house tonight.
Oh, yeah?
Costello, that was nice of Viola to invite you over for dinner.
Yes, but I ain't going to go to her house anymore for dinner. She's too wishy-washy.
Wishy-washy?
Yes, every time we get through with dinner, she always says, "I wishy you'd washy the dishes."
Get him out of here!
I hate to break it up, men, but it's time to change the subject for just about 60 seconds.
ladies and gentlemen, here's our new singer, Hal Winters. Let's give Hal a nice big hand.
Nice big hand for Hal Winters.
Day out, the same old hoodoo follows me about, the same old pounding in my heart whenever I think of you, and darling, I think of you day in and day out, day out, day in. I needn't tell you how my day begins. When I awaken with a tingle, one possibility in view, that possibility of maybe seeing you. Come rain, come shine, I meet you and to me the day is fine. Then I speak your name and that pounding becomes the ocean's roar, 1,000 drums. Can't you see it's love? Can there be any doubt? When there it is, day in, day out. Then I speak your name, and that pounding becomes the ocean's roar, 1,000 drums. Can't you see it's love? Can there be any doubt? When there it is, day in, day out.
Costello, put down that water pitcher. Put down that water pitcher. What are you doing?
I put it down.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm drinking water. Doctor told me to drink water an hour before I eat, and I don't like it.
Why not?
I've been drinking for 20 minutes. If I take another swallow, I'll bust.
What doctor did you go to?
My cousin, he's a doctor. Dr. Vincent Varello.
Is he a good doctor?
Good. He's the greatest doctor in Cucamonga, the most skillful doctor in Cucamonga. There's no better doctor in Cucamonga.
What makes you so sure?
He's the only doctor in Cucamonga.
I mean, why do you go all the way to Cucamonga? There's a doctor right in your block.
Yeah, but he's a baby doctor. I ain't got no confidence in him.
Why not?
Very few babies make good doctors.
Forget about it. Have you heard any more from our sponsors about how they like your Sam Shovel detective stories?
Indeed I have. Here's a letter from one of them that came this morning. I'll read it. Dear Lou Costello, since I heard you were going to continue your Sam Shovel detective series, I have decided to take the old picture off our bottles and replace it with your picture. For as long as you do your Sam Shovel series, every bottle of our product will have your picture on the label.
What product do they make?
Iodine.
I thought so. What is your Sam Shovel detective mystery for tonight, Gus?
One of my minor cases, Abbott. I call it the case of the babysitter who was fired because he neglected his work, or it was time for a change.
Well, let's get on with the case.
And now, the makers of Pismo Cocoa, the cocoa that won't keep you awake unless you drink it, present your favorite radio mystery, Sam Shovel, Private Detective. But first, a word about our product. Friends, when you drink cocoa before you go to bed, do you toss and turn? Try a cup of Pismo Cocoa tonight. No more tossing, no more turning. You'll just lie there, dead. Pismo Cocoa comes in the regular style for those who make it in a pot. It also comes vacuum-packed for those who make it in a vacuum cleaner. Drink Pismo Cocoa and know when you drink Pismo Cocoa what a good cup tastes like. Say, compared to the cocoa, the cup will taste wonderful. And now let's listen to what people all over the country are saying about Pismo Cocoa.
That's cocoa.
That's cocoa.
That's cocoa.
That's cocoa.
Friends, we're proud of Pismo Cocoa. Remember this, during the war, Pismo cocoa was chosen by our army as the cocoa they served overseas. They served it to the Japs. And now Pismo Cocoa brings you the further adventures of Sam Shovel, Private Detective.
Yes, I'm Sam Shovel. Sam Shovel, Private Detective. I've had a tough day. I'm sitting here in my little office dozing. I'm sleepy. Suddenly I see a Dunhill, a K. Woody, a corncob, a briar. I'm having pipe dreams. The telephone company was here this morning and put in the phone. I look at my new phone number, Elephant 6688. Must be on a trunk line. I just finished listening to my favorite radio, giveaway show. It's the only real giveaway show on the air. If you guess the answer, they give away the show. I see the mailman's shadow on the window of my office door. He's bringing my mail. He delivers the mail the hard way. The hard way. He crawls through the mail slot and drags the mail in after him. I notice my new map has arrived in the mail. It's got the boundaries of all the states marked on it. I study the map. There's the Ohio state line. There's the Indiana line. There's... Yo! That must be the Mason-Dixon line. I love the South. I'll never forget how I trailed Shotgun Jake through the South. He thought he was a smart guy, but I fixed his wagon. I grabbed him in Atlanta and fixed his wagon. In Chattanooga, I fixed his wagon. In Birmingham, I fixed his wagon. I made a lot of money on that case. He gave me $5 every time I fixed his wagon. Here's a letter from a crook in Switzerland. He's imprisoned at the Yodel Yodel. That's Swiss for Sing Sing. I decided to read the rest of my mail. Here's a letter I don't understand. Dear Sam Shovel, we're sick of you butting into our business. If the Varela gang don't kill you, we'll kill you. Signed the Merry Gang. P.S. If you're already dead, please disregard this note. That sounds like a threatening letter. I better make sure I'm armed. I opened the drawer of my desk to check on my gun. It's a Colt. Here's a postcard from my bookmaker. He wants me to send him $1 for a football pool. I don't think I'll do it. It's a waste of time building a pool for a football. It's about time for my pal, Lieutenant Abbott of the Homicide Squad, to show up. Abbott is a fine cop. Abbott, the chief wants to put him on the headquarters squad. No wonder. Abbott is the only cop in a force that's got a head the size of a quarter. I've hung out with Lieutenant Abbott so much we've become known as sidekicks. It's not because we're so friendly. It's just that every time we meet, we kick each other in the side. Suddenly I hear footsteps outside my door.
Hello, Sam Shovel.
Glad you shut up, Lieutenant Abbott. How about paying me the $5 you owe me?
When April showers, they come my way.
Every time I ask for money, he gives me a song and dance. Where have you been, Lieutenant Abbott?
I just arrested a guy for changing a tire.
You can't arrest a man for changing a tire.
From my car to his.
Lieutenant Abbott also changed that joke from my punchline to his punchline.
Sam, this office is filthy. Why don't you get some cleaning equipment? Clean up the dirt.
I've got plenty of cleaning equipment. I got vacuum cleaners, mops, brooms, and scrubbing brushes.
Why don't you use them?
Can't find them. They're under the dirt.
You're a disgrace to the detective business. What an office. It's ankle deep in dirt. Why don't you open a window?
The only window in the place is in my kitchenette.
Well, open it.
What, and let the sun come in and kill my mushroom bed? As I said this, I heard a creepy sound in the hall outside. I turned and looked. Lieutenant Abbott and I said, quick, somebody's coming. Hide behind that marble slab.
Sam. Sam, you were right. There's someone at the door.
The door slowly opened. Get it open while I'm still young enough to read the next line. Standing in the doorway was the most gorgeous girl I've ever seen. She spoke.
Oh, Monsieur Sam Chauvel, I have heard that you are a great detective, no?
That I am. I looked at this lovely creature. She was wearing a low-cut evening gown.
Sam Chauvel, will you help me out?
Lady, don't you think you're out far enough already?
Sam Chauvel, who is your so charming friend?
This is Lieutenant Abbott of the Homicide Squad.
Ah, the famous brave Lieutenant Abbott. Lieutenant, I am in great danger. You can help me, n'est-ce pas?
Mais oui, mademoiselle.
Oh, chérie, que vous êtes le plus bel homme du monde.
Oh, I don't think I could do that.
Oh, mais je crois que vous êtes un méchant garçon.
I couldn't do that.
Oh, mais vous n'avez pas besoin d'être si insolente avec moi.
I couldn't do that.
What's she saying, Abbott? Maybe I could.
Oh, Sam Chauvel, you are so brave. The terrible Count Boris is after me. Tell me, what would you do if you were in my shoes?
I'd probably fall flat on my puss.
Countess, you shouldn't drag Sam Shovel into this case.
Here we go again.
Count Boris is a vicious man. He might kill Sam. Besides, you have no money to pay the fee.
Oh, it is true I have no money, but Sam, I can pay you with kisses.
Kisses are not legal tender.
They may not be legal, but I'll bet they're tender.
Sam, you are so wonderful. I'm going to give you a kiss that will melt your heart.
Sam, say something.
Does anybody want to buy 10 cents worth of liquid hot?
Oh, Sam, it is Count Boris. He's looking for me. He is always seeking me. For 5 years I've been hiding from him. Quick, Sam, where can I hide?
Here, hide under the desk.
Gertie! Where is she? I know she's here. I've been looking for her for 5 years. Aha! There you are under the desk, huh? Come out, Countess Borden. I have found you, and you know what that means.
What are you going to do to her, Count Boris?
Nothing. Only now it's my turn to hide. She's got to find me.
Get him out of here, will you?
Abbott and Costello will have the last word as usual. But before they do, we'd like you to ponder this.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to say that the part of Sam Shovel in tonight's show was played by Luke Costello. And I, Bud Abbott, do not necessarily agree with anything he says.
Thank you, Abbott. And I want to say that the part of Lieutenant Abbott of the Homicide Squad is played by Bud Abbott. And if there is any resemblance between Abbott and any living person, there would be better off dead.
Thank you. And now let's give a bow to our orchestra leader, Matty Malnick, and to our singer, Hal Winters.
And I'd like to give credit to our writing staff, which is headed by Lee Foreman with Paul Conlon, Pat Costello, Martin Ragaway, and Leonard Stern.
And let's not forget our capable producer, Charles Vander.
And let's not forget to say good night.
Good night, folks.
Good night to everybody in Patterson. Good night.
Listen each Thursday night at this time for another great Abbott and Costello show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood. Be sure to stay tuned for the outstanding entertainment which follows throughout the evening on this ABC station.
time is it?
It's time for the Abbott and Costello Show. We're on the air for ABC here in Hollywood.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go with the Abbott and Costello Show.
Yes, it's the Abbott and Costello Show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood for your listening and laughing pleasure. Chuckles with a carload and music by Matty Malding. So hold on to your chairs, folks, for here they are, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
Stop that yelling, Costello. Come over here. I need $10,000 in a hurry. Will you loan it to me?
Ha ha!
Haven't got that much, huh? Well, how about 8,000? How about 5,000? 1,000? Costello, when are you going to stop that laughing?
When you get down to about $3.25.
I should have known better. If you stopped chasing girls, you'd have money.
I don't chase women, Abbott. I'm repulsive to women.
Repulsive to women? Who told you that?
Women.
What? Haven't you ever had a real girl, Lou?
Oh, yes, I have. Once, Abbott. Her name was Mabel Kumquat. Dear old Mabel Kumquat. Sweet kid.
I'll bet.
Met her in a delicatessen factory in Patterson. I was a salami sniper.
A salami sniper?
Snipper.
All right, so what is it?
Well, a salami snipper? That's an endless chain of salami would go by me. Every 20 inches, I would go snip, snip.
Go on.
One day I looked up and there stood Mabel. I stood there looking at her for 15 minutes.
And what happened?
Abbott, did you ever see a salami 2 miles long?
And that was the start of your romance, eh?
Oh, yes. One night I took her up to Bung Mountain.
Wait a minute. There's no Bung Mountain in Patterson.
Abbott, when I take a girl up a mountain to a mountain, it's Bung. Then we became engaged. I slipped the ring on her finger. I didn't have a ring, so I used a cigar band.
Where did you get the cigar band?
Mabel happened to be smoking a White Owl at the time. I know it was a White Owl. I could smell the feathers.
Costello, you could graduate with honors from an idiot's college.
Thank you, Professor.
Hey, wait a minute, boys. Here's a serious-looking fella trying to get a word in edgewise. Let's see what he has to say.
Costello, stop that yelling. Where have you been?
I've been hiding my Christmas present.
Have you finished with your Christmas shopping, Lou?
No. On the way down here, I stopped at Nancy's department store, and boy, was that place crowded.
Lots of people, eh?
Yeah, but it was so crowded. While I was in there, my belt broke, and it was 20 minutes before my pants fell down. Another thing, I can't stand those women shoppers.
What's wrong with women shoppers?
Well, I was standing by the notion counter. There was one woman there. She was turning everything bottom side up to see where it was made.
She was turning everything bottom side up?
Everything bottom side up. The floor worker saved me just in time.
Never mind that.
What did you got for $1.94?
Look, Lou, skip that. Did you write your letter to Santa Claus yet?
Did I write my letter to Santa Claus?
Yes.
I ain't gonna tell you.
Oh, come on. Did you or did you not write a letter to Santa Claus?
Well, if you must know, I did. And I asked him to bring me a new bicycle.
But Santa Claus brought you a new bicycle, a brand new bicycle, 2 years ago.
Yes, but don't you think I'm old enough now to have a boy's bicycle?
Hello. I hate to interrupt your program, but I've got some bad news for you.
Out with it, man. What is it?
Mr. Costello, your Uncle Tom was just run over by a truck on Wilshire Boulevard.
My Uncle Tom was run over by a truck on Wilshire Boulevard? Thanks for telling me. Abbott.
What?
You got a pencil?
What do you want with a pencil?
I want to cross Uncle Tom off my Christmas list.
How can you say that, Costello? How can you be so heartless? Isn't there any love in your family around Christmas time?
Oh, sure. Our family all love each other. Last Christmas, my Aunt May gave my Uncle Mike a broken arm for Christmas.
A broken arm?
Yep.
What kind of a Christmas present is that?
Well, after she broke it, she wrapped it up as a gift.
I'll bet your house is a pleasant place around Christmas.
Oh, you should have been there last year. Aunt Alma called Uncle Jim a no good, and Aunt May hit her over the head with a vase. Then my uncle hit my brother Pat over the head with a cane-bottom chair, and then Uncle Tom hit my cousin Vincent with the umbrella stand, and my sister Marie fired 3 shots at my sister-in-law.
What happened?
Well, before you knew it, an argument started. Well, I want to tell you something, Abbott, and speaking of arguments, what are you going to get your wife for Christmas?
Well, I gave her some money. She wanted to buy herself a new corset.
Lovely.
Yes, but she can't seem to find one that will fill her budget.
She's so fat, nothing would fit her budget.
Costello, my wife is just pleasantly plump. She's not fat.
That reminds me, Abbott. My sister would like to borrow one of your wife's stockings to hang over the fireplace on Christmas Eve.
What does she want with one of my wife's stockings?
She's expecting a grand piano.
Are you trying to insinuate that my wife Betty is fat?
Well...
Did you ever see her in a bathing suit?
Yes, I have.
Repulsive, isn't it? Wait a minute. Who put that in this script?
I told you, Abbott, you should have bought those riders presents.
Did you buy them presents?
No, but I asked them what they wanted, and they said to me, Louie, you know what we like best. You just go out and get it, wrap it up, and put it under the Christmas tree.
Well, why did you do it?
Abbott, you can't wrap up a saloon.
Well, if you didn't get the writers anything, you should have at least bought their wives something.
I did, Abbott. I gave each one of them a corsage.
No, not corsage.
Not corsage.
That's corsage. Spelled A-G-E. Is pronounced like odd, as in corsage or garage. Now, where did you get them?
From the man who picks up the garbage. Well, I gotta go now, Abbott. I gotta do some shopping for Louis B. Mayer. He wants me to get a box of cigars. He's gonna give them to Margaret O'Brien for Christmas.
Now, wait a minute. Why would you want to give Margaret O'Brien a box of cigars for Christmas?
He wants to stunt her growth.
All right, Costello, that did it. Now I'm going to tell you what I think of you. You're the lousiest comedian on the radio. You tell the worst jokes on the air, and furthermore...
It's my brother-in-law.
I wouldn't come to see your show again if you gave me $1 million. You stink!
Sounded good, Lou.
This guy means it. Tough guy, huh? You want to step outside and say that?
Certainly I'll step outside and say it. Why?
Well, there's a lot of people out there in front that couldn't get in the studio. Maybe they'd like to hear it, too.
That's what I thought. You're a yellow rat.
A yellow rat, that did it. I'm not taking that sitting down.
Oh, you're not, eh?
No. He got me, Abbott.
Where'd you get you, Costello?
As I said before, I'm not taking this sitting down.
Hello, boys.
Hey, look, Costello, it's our secretary, Viola Vaughn.
Why, Costello, I didn't expect to see you here tonight. I thought you'd be up at the North Pole looking for Santa Claus.
Nah, it's too cold up there. My Uncle Jim moved up there to the North Pole. Last I heard him, he was keeping company with a girl polar bear, and he was going to get married.
To a girl polar bear? What stopped them?
Her parents objected.
If I remember right, your Uncle Jim took your cousin Vincent to Alaska with him, didn't he?
Yes, and one day Vincent was fishing for whales. He hooked one and started to pull in his line. Then the whale pulled, then Vincent pulled, then the whale pulled.
Where is Vincent now?
I don't know. But every time I get a postcard from him, he sends regards from Jonah.
Viola, you look so pretty. Why don't you and I step out together after the show? I'm in a gay mood tonight. I'm feeling my oats.
Yes, Abbott. Have you been out to lunch with Trigger again?
There's no reason why Viola shouldn't go out with me. I'm a regular ladies' man. Why, women throw themselves at my feet.
I don't blame him. Anything to get away from that face.
Costello, it's my turn to go out with Viola. Why, you've been over to her house 5 nights running.
Oh, no, Mr. Abbott. Only 4 nights running. Last night my father didn't chase him. Look, there's no use in you boys fighting over me. I want to find a big, strong, robust, romantic man.
How about me?
Okay, you can help me look.
Costello, I don't blame Viola for not wanting to go out with you. You're fat, you're ugly, your front tooth is missing.
Oh, no, it's not. I got it right here in my pocket.
Costello, honey, what are you going to get me for Christmas? You know, I need a new car.
A new car?
Well, Costello, as soon as a new car prices come down a little, maybe you can get her a new car.
I don't think so, Abbott. I went to a dealer yesterday, and I said, how long will it be before I can get a new car for $900? He felt my pulse and says, you'll never make it.
Oh, forget about Viola. We've got a lot of people on this show, and we've got to get them Christmas presents. Come on. Let's go across the street to the department store. Gee, this store is crowded. Look over there. It's our band leader, Matty Malnick.
Hiya, fellas. I'm looking to buy some records. Costello, do you know where the music department is?
No, I don't.
Well, you take down this aisle to the escalator, then you take the escalator to the next floor, then you go towards the front of the store.
Wait a minute. You asked me.
I asked you what?
How to get to the music department.
Well, you go down this aisle to the escalator, then you're right here.
Come on, now, get out of here. Matty Malnick.
Now, look, Costello.
Some musician. He just don't give a toot.
Look, Costello. Costello, there's Santa Claus in the toy department.
Hey, come on over there. I want to talk to him.
Are you Santa Claus?
Yes, I'm Santa Claus. Yes, little man. Oh! What's the idea of kicking me in the leg?
That's for last year.
Costello, that's no way to act. Santa Claus is here to find out what you want for Christmas. Now, go ahead and tell him what you want for Christmas.
Gee, Santa Claus, I wish that Christmas morning I could find Rita Hayworth in my stocking.
With those fat legs of yours, you'd have plenty of room for the Andrews sisters.
Say, Santa Claus, that was pretty good.
Oh, it's nothing. I tell those jokes all the time up at the North Pole.
Who's your straight man?
A penguin.
You want to trade?
No, I don't want to trade. I'm too fond of this penguin. I keep him in a bottle of ink.
Oh, a fountain penguin.
Santa Claus. Costello's just a kid at heart. He craves affection. The thing for you to do is mother him.
Oh, well, that's different.
Sure.
Here. Come on, get up on my knee, fat boy. Now, put your head under my beard. Now I've got you.
Santa Claus, what are you doing? I told you to mother him.
Oh, I thought you said smother him.
Break it up, man, but it's time to change the subject for just about 60 seconds.
Our musical Christmas gift to all of you, Hal Winters in a Christmas Song, along with Matty Malnick and his music.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I'll hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. The fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. But as long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I'll hate going out in the storm. But if you'll really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. The fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. But as long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Summer song by Hal Winters. Hey, Everett. Hi. My brother Pat just told me some wonderful news. Tomorrow he starts playing with the girls in Phil Spitali's orchestra.
What instrument will he play?
No instrument. He's just going to play with the girls.
I thought your brother was a musician.
No, he's a singer. He sings just like Nelson Eddy.
Does he sing short and bread?
Well, he could, but the places he sings in are so small and narrow, he can't sing short and bread. He's got to sing right crisp.
Never mind that. What are you doing with that newspaper?
I wanted to show it to you, Abbott. My Sam Shovel Detective series is becoming so popular, the newspapers have taken it off the radio page and put it on the front page. Look.
Wait a minute. I don't see it on the front page.
There it is. There it is. Under crimes committed in Los Angeles today. And besides that, I'm getting more fan mail than ever. Listen to this one. Dear Lou Costello, if your Sam Shovel Detective series is not the funniest program on the air, then I'm not the next president of the United States.
Who's it from?
Tom Dewey.
Never mind that. What is your Sam Shovel Detective mystery for tonight?
It's one of my latest cases, Abbott. I call it the case of Clarence, the dress designer who gave himself up to the police, or I'm all yours in buttons and bows.
And now to the further adventures of Sam Shovel, Private Detective.
Yes, I'm Sam Shovel. Sam Shovel, Private Detective. I'm sitting here in my little office. It's mighty chilly in here. I think I'll throw another log on the fire. Every time I build a log fire in my office, the landlord complains. Maybe it's because I have no fireplace. I pick up the newspaper. I drop it on my desk. It was the Mirror. I read the one ad. Woman who washes Mondays and Tuesdays wants place to hang out on Wednesdays. Here's another one. Wanted man to teach nuclear division of atomic astrophysical cyclotronic fissures. No experience necessary. I glance out of my window to see what's playing in the movie across the street.
Chicago. Cleveland. Boston.
Must be that new picture, The Cry of the City. Next door to the movie is a Hollywood nightclub. Those Hollywood nightclubs cut the liquor so much the bartenders have to have a barber's license. In the winter, they have to put alcohol in the whiskey to keep it from freezing. I remember once my pal, Lieutenant Abbott of the Homicide Squad, was so disgusted that he went into that joint to drink himself to death. He didn't get drunk, but there was so much water in the whiskey he nearly drowned. Suddenly the phone rings. Sam Shovel speaking.
Sam Shovel, you're on the spot. Get wise to yourself. You've got to play ball with us.
Who are you?
UCLA football team. We'll play anybody.
One line went south. I look out the window again. Crowds, nothing but crowds. Everybody doing a last-minute Christmas shopping. The crowds give me an idea. I'm going to write to my congressman and have him change Christmas to April. The stores aren't so crowded then. In the crowd, I see my pal, Lieutenant Abbott. Abbott is the cheapest guy in the world, all year round. But when Christmas comes, he'd give you the shirt off his back. I know. Last year for Christmas, he gave me a dirty shirt. Lieutenant Abbott is a great detective. He worked on the Morelli case, and in 2 days he had it sewed up. Then he got the Murray case, and it only took him 3 days to sew that up. Then came the famous Lewis case. He sewed it up in 24 hours. He never carried a gun. Just a sewing machine and 3 extra bobbins.
Hello, Sam Shovel. Sam, tomorrow's Christmas Eve, and I dropped in to find out what you want for Christmas.
Well, I live just a stone's throw from Hetty Lamar's house, and my bedroom window is just a stone's throw from her window.
What do you want for Christmas, Sam?
A stone. Lieutenant, why don't you send me some mistletoe so I can kiss the girls under it?
That's not mistletoe. That's mistletoe. Missile, not muscle.
When I want to kiss a girl, I got to use muscle.
Sam, I want you to help me on a job. I've been assigned to guard at a department store during the Christmas rush.
I guarded the Broadway Hollywood store last Christmas. I put a man on the 5th Street door, a man on the Broadway door, a man on the 6th Street door.
How did you make out?
They didn't lose a single door. But all the windows were stolen.
Come on, Sam. We're going down to the store right now. Sam, this is a big store. They sell anything from sailboats to a pound of pecans.
I see. They got everything from sloop to nuts.
Come, gentlemen, you'll have to go to work right away. The shoplifters are stealing everything in aisle 9.
Where is aisle 9?
Well, this is aisle 7, that's aisle 8, and that... How do you like that? They stole aisle 9.
I think I like this job. Say, who is that gorgeous girl behind the crowded counter?
Oh, that's Miss Fairchild. She works in ladies' slippers.
She's beautiful. What else does she do?
She just works in ladies' slippers, that's all.
Hey, wait a minute. Look, that kid. He just stole a pair of roller skates. I'll get him.
Don't let go of me! Let me go, you copper! Let me go!
I'll teach you to steal. I'm going to lock you up.
Lieutenant, I'll take charge of this case. You keep your eye on the store. Come with me, son.
Please don't take me to jail. Please don't take me to jail.
I didn't have the heart to take that kid to jail. He didn't look like a bad kid. He was poorly dressed. His face was dirty, but I could still see some of his freckles. His name was Johnny. I took him to my little office and sat him down in a chair. I could see he was scared, plenty scared.
Gee, Mr. Shovel, I don't want to go to jail.
And I don't want you to go to jail, son. That's why I brought you here. Those were plenty expensive roller skates you took off the counter in that store, Johnny.
Oh, gee, they were only $1.98.
I'm not talking about the cost in money, Johnny. It's the cost in shame and disgrace. Not only to you, but to your mom and your dad.
Gee, I never thought about that. Mom and Dad.
That's the trouble with doing a wrong thing, Johnny. Most time it hurts others more than the guy that does it.
Gee, you're a funny guy. You're supposed to be a detective, a cop. And me and the kids in my neighborhood, we ain't got no use for coppers. But, gee, I kind of like you. You don't talk like no cop. You're more like a friend.
Johnny, cops aren't bad guys. Every cop on the force wants to be the friends with every kid on his beat. When a kid is in trouble, if he'd run to a cop instead of away from him, he'd find out that cops are pretty regular fellows. You see, Johnny, you're a kid and I'm a cop. But lucky for us, we're both living in a wonderful country. A country that's interested in the welfare of its children. Our police know that no kid wants to be bad. It's just bad environment. Neglect on the part of parents. Lack of love and understanding. That makes a kid go wrong.
Yeah? And are you sure that all cops is my friends?
All cops, Johnny.
Aha, there you are.
Even him?
Even him.
I don't know what this is all about, Sam. They gotta get this kid to the lockup. This is Christmas Eve, and I gotta...
You gotta get a little of the Christmas spirit, Lieutenant. I think Johnny's very sorry for what he did. He'll never do it again.
Well, he tried to get away from me. He ran from the law. That's a sign of guilt.
Honest, I won't never do it again. I promise I won't.
Besides, Lieutenant, I think I've made Johnny understand that cops are his friends.
Yeah? Johnny, if you know that cops are a kid's best friends, you've really learned something.
Yeah, well, there's only one thing that puzzles me.
What is it, Johnny?
Well, Lieutenant Abbott's a cop, ain't he?
Yes?
Well, how could a guy with a face like that be any kind of a cop?
Oh, Johnny. Johnny, it's Christmas Eve. Listen.
Well, it's Christmas Eve again. I promised my wife I'd be in church, saying my prayers, singing hymns. And here I am in this broken down...
You don't have to be in church for that, Lieutenant. How about it, Johnny? Know the words to that song?
Yeah, I think so.
Johnny, let's try it, huh? What do you say?
Will have the last word as usual. But before they do, we'd like you to ponder this.
Costello, before signing off, let's wish all our listeners a very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. And I'd also like to say Merry Christmas to our fine crew that helped us put the show together. Our writing staff, which is headed by Eddie Plummer, with Paul Collin, Pat Costello, Martin Ragaway, and Leonard Stern.
Now, don't forget the swell boys of the band and our leader, Matty Melnick, and our vocalist, Hal Winters.
And a Merry Christmas to our producer, Charles Vander.
Good night, folks.
Good night, everybody, and Merry Christmas to everybody in Canada, New Jersey, and all over the world.
Listen each Thursday night at this time for another great Abbott and Costello show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood. And be sure to stay tuned for the outstanding entertainment which follows throughout the evening on this ABC station.